All right. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Move the Mic podcast. I'm Eric Williams. This is Dame the Pod Boss Terrian, and we have a special guest today, guys. It's the hero we don't deserve, but hey, we fucking got him. Hey, finally, we got BatBoy in the studio, everybody. Hey,
let's go, BatBoy.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for kidnapping me.
Stopping by.
Thank you so much. Another fantasy of mine just checked off the list.
Hell
you
yeah.
know,
Oh, that's
is that my camera?
Yeah.
It is your camera.
Hey, hey, yo, you sexy motherfuckers out there. Yes, the horns. Yeah, I guess you say horns. They're grabbable. You know, they're kind of plush. But these are actually, it's like little inserts
Nice.
inside.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you like buy them specifically in that shape, or did you?
So
make 'em?
I want to make my own mask. I want to eventually.
Gotcha.
So I want to make it pretty much look like Batman's mask. Like I want to stop at the nose and have all this open, so it's like not a full like hood. You know what I mean? So it's less hot, and also I can eat food with that type of mask
Yeah,
on.
for sure.
Because with this I can only eat like finger foods, like French fries.
And you're very limited in the size of cock that you can.
Yeah, French fries, mozzarella, anything phallic in there.
Yeah.
That's all. I can only eat phallic foods because it's just it's just a hole.
So you're saying you're in like the Spider-Man costume days where he was wrestling like Macho Man Randy Savage?
Yeah.
I got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah. I missed the part where that's
The
my
whole-
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
exactly.
and it's like I have to make one anyway. There's like a hole on the side, and I'm not a seamstress. I'm not that gay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I tried asking my sister, and she was like, I don't know either. I'm like, what do you mean? You're a girl, and she was like, that's expensive. No, I never asked her.
My grandmother taught me like how to do a couple different stitches, but like she really wanted me to learn and everything. I just like with a machine. She had a few different style like stitchers and like all different kinds of stuff. I was like, no, I'm good.
I think I stitched once. This was in an after-school program in Catholic school, and the nuns they were teaching everyone how to sew. The boys, the girls, everybody. And I was sitting right next to her because I was the only seat available, and like the whole classroom was the seat right next to her. And people like, I never like growing up. This is why I always know I'm like always a funny person, a comedian. I never got embarrassed when a teacher's like, "Oh, you're talking so much. I'm gonna sit you in front of the class next to me." And I was like, "You just gave me an audience, bitch." Like,
Thanks.
I'm just gonna, and now I just gotta entertain for like 45 minutes. But I was sitting next to one of the nuns, and she was teaching us how to sew, and I guess I sewed it the straight line pretty quickly, like quicker than the other kids. But the way she looked at me, she was like, "Huh, you sewed that pretty quickly, and you're a boy." And you,
really?
and I was just like, because like when you're closeted and when you're queer, it's like it's just 24/7 panic, and you're always the last one to know. Everyone knows you're the last one to be like. So then when you do eventually come out, you're inviting everyone to have this sort of performance, like, what? No, what? It's crazy. You're gay. But the way she looked at me, she was like, "You sewed that pretty quickly, and you're a boy."
Yeah.
Huh? And that's all it took for me to like never pick up a needle and thread ever again. I'm gonna live a holy.
What if you were like the next savant though? Like you were reincarnated. Like some grandmaster out there died, and you were supposed to be that reincarnation.
And that was
You
my
were just like,
moment.
never.
Yeah, that was my
Done.
moment.
Shut it
The
down.
spirit was coming in me, and I was just like, nah.
Fuck reincarnation.
Sometimes I feel like this is my first cycle. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for
Living
sure.
cycle.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So there are certain times where deja vu gets a little like I don't know it's past deja vu, but I'm just like this seems familiar and like to my core. Like I've experienced this before, but I know that for me this is my first time experiencing it in this body.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also feel like I always use that excuse whenever bad things happen to me. Like when bad things happen consistently, I'm like, what past life was I that was so horrible?
Yep.
That the universe is like, you're gonna get reincarnated and you're just gonna fucking go through it.
As a big gay bat.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're like, you're like, it's like, they're like, you know what? We're gonna make you gay. We're gonna make you effeminate. We're gonna make you a nerd, and that's not gonna cycle back around for years. Nerds are gonna be awful until like only a couple years ago. And then it's just like, and we're gonna make you tall. We're gonna make you 6'2", but you're gonna want to be treated like a pretty princess. No one's gonna carry you over the threshold. Like literally, like I just want to be carried over the I just want to be swallowed up and cradled. But I'm 6'2". Yeah, but I'm 6'2", and like the gay community, are like, oh my god, you're 6'2". So the gay community, the bars. Obviously I can't speak for all. No one person can speak for a marginalized group, but I can tell you, gay people, the bar is so low. You can just be tall, like me. If you're above 6 feet, they just assign you all of the masculine. Tough shit. Like, oh, he's 6 feet, so he's gonna assemble all the things for me. Yep. He's always gonna pay the check first. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind.
He's out there shoveling first in the wintertime.
Yeah, I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, I don't care if you're dirt poor pushing pennies across the table. If you offer to pay, I'm like, all right. All right, can we hurry this up? My Uber's here. Like, I gotta get the fuck.
He wants to be Big Spoon, but he's built like a ladle, everybody.
Yeah. But sometimes I'm like, what about being Little Spoon? What about carrying me princess style? But like the only option I had is if I did a fucking basketball player, like,
yep, there you go.
You know what I mean? Like 7 feet tall. Like the only way I'm gonna be cradled is by fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I don't think he's gonna want to do that. I don't think he's fit for it. And if he is, I don't think he wants to.
Yeah. That's great.
I want to say like Shaquille, but he seems pretty cool lately.
Yeah.
He seems looking cool doing the DJ.
Oh yeah,
stuff. At first,
yeah.
I was like,
He's coming to Fortnite.
Yep.
He's coming to Fortnite.
Oh, he's in Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh, is it?
I watched the video yesterday.
It's awful.
Well, it's not released yet, but somebody was playing. He's dumb big. Like, you can't even crawl into the back of the trailer and shit. He's just retarded.
The proportions, people are so mad when they made Peter buff, and they're like, "Why can't we have fat Peter?" I'm like, "That's the easiest target."
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
And now Shaq it's a pay to lose. Is what it is. Like somebody ran into a bush. You know the big bushes everyone will hide in.
Oh, I ran into a bush. Oh yeah.
His head's just sticking out the top. It's like everybody's gonna see it.
That's how I am when I'm I forget the name, but it's like a humanoid like rabbit character. And his ears are so big that if you're in a car, if you're crouching in a bush, the ears just stick out. And I'm like, how do they keep finding me?
There's this, I can't remember the name of it, but I follow this page on YouTube that has, like, they just take all the different modifications, like all the different stuff and blend them together.
Yeah.
So, like, I came up with one that's not on there yet. It's Beerus from Dragon Ball.
Oh, the cat? The purple cat?
Shuri's orange or purple. When you get the
when you're diving.
Yeah, the purple orb, because he's the god of destruction.
Yeah,
and his the thing that he uses is called Hakai, which is purple, just like that, and he shields himself when the planet's destructing in this Hakai shield around him, and it's just like that. It looks just like it. Like, so every time I'm dropping I gave up Goku. Like, I love Goku. But now that I as soon as I seen when I finished the battle pass and I seen that purple freaking orb, cool. It just clicked. Yeah. I'm like, yo, let's go, Beerus.
Damn, all this nerd talk. I just know everyone watching is just screaming their pants.
Oh yeah,
ladies, gentlemen, please stop touching yourselves. All this nerd talk. I know it's hot.
Dicks are hard, pussies are wet.
Yeah, talking about Beerus and Kai.
That's hilarious.
You know what's awesome about Dragon Ball, though, to keep it one more time on the nerd thing, is everybody's like a food. You know what I mean? Vegeta, vegetable.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You know,
what's Boo?
Boo? I don't know.
He's bubblegum?
Bubblegum?
Yeah, well, yeah. And he turns everything into chocolate. And
double bubble.
Yeah. But, like, all the characters, Pan, you know, frying pan.
Yeah.
Like, you make food with that. What is the other? I mean, it goes, except for the Saiyans, really.
Yeah.
But even, like...
Raditz, like a radish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Frieza, frozen food.
Yeah, I'm
Freezer.
freaking out right now, but it's a thing. It's a thing.
It's so funny because it's so weird when I talk about Dragon Ball with people because I remember watching it as a kid, but nowadays the only time I watch Dragon Ball is watching Dragon Ball Z abridged. Really? That's my knowledge.
Oh my god, abridged is dope.
It's one of the best it ushered that ilk of like people trying to do their other like abridged series of stuff, but like Dragon Ball Z abridged is just so that's how I get my knowledge from it. And obviously it's abridged, so they add things or they like add things that are not true.
Shout out Mastar.
But it's like so sometimes I would have to like and they do follow the series, but they just cut out all the fluff and they make it funny. Right. But like when I talk to people who they only watch original Dragon Ball or they kind of watch Bridge and we're talking about the same events, but my version is obviously different.
It's
I'm like,
hilarious.
because they're just like, that didn't happen. I'm like, oh no, that was.
Yeah.
I quote it too often.
Do you know what we're talking about?
No.
I can tell by the way you were smiling and nodding. You were like,
yeah.
So Bridge is what it is like these groups of guys.
Shout out Team 4-Star.
They did their own what's it called? Dialogue.
Yeah, they dubbed it.
Yeah, they dubbed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's like the same scenes. They cut them up a little bit and shorten it a little bit, but it's hilarious because they're doing their own words.
It is so like there's this one that I love doing, and mind you, it could be a quote from one character, it could be a conversation from two characters. I play all the parts. I just recite it to myself like a lunatic. But there's one where Frieza, he's FaceTiming the Ginyu Force because he needs backup because like they need help. And while he's FaceTiming the Ginyu Force, Zarbon walks in. And in a bridge, they make Zarbon very gay. Very homosexual. Yeah. And so he walks in, he's like, Lord Frieza, can you hurry up? I need to use the space Skype. And he's like, what is it now, Zarbon? And he's like, well, I just need to call my girlfriend. And he's like, anyway, Ginyu's, I'm going to call you back. And he like, turns off the screen and Frieza like lowers and he turns around and looks at him. He's like, come again. And he's just like, well, it's our anniversary. And I want to know where she wants to go. We have to make reservations early. And he's like, oh, girlfriend. Well, I just thought that this whole time, what, you thought I was single? He's like, no, I just thought you were. Never mind, it doesn't matter. And he's like, well, it matters to me because frankly, it sounds like you thought I was a homosexual. And then one of Frieza's goons come in. He's like, Lord Frieza, Vegeta's causing havoc. And then Frieza blows him up. He's like, oh, wow, look, that a blown up dead minion. We'll finish this conversation never. But it's so, or like,
I'll have to check it out.
it's so funny.
That's great.
Or like or when Frieza's attacking them, they call the Ginyus again, and it cuts to the Ginyus on their ships on the way to Namek, and you just hear Frieza and Zarbon over the phone, and they're like, Ginyu, pick it up double time. Zarbon screwed the pooch on this one. Then Zarbon's like, Lord Frieza, Vegeta's really giving us a pounding. And he's like, I'm coming, Zarbon. Quick, grab my balls. Like the Dragon Balls. And then the feed cuts off and the Ginyus are like losing it. But then they show up and they're really gay with their little dancing. But it's so, I quote it constantly.
Well, it's not a dance. It's a forum. Okay, they're called forms.
Yeah, and they make the red member of the Ginyu Force. He's like Australian, and he's always referencing like Space Australia, go Space Broncos, and it's just like we're gonna go to Space Sonics, and then Krillin's like, we get it, everything's from space, but I quote it all the time, but sometimes people are just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, I know we're talking about the fight between Gohan and Cell, but why is yours different and funnier? I'm like, oh, I only watch Abridged. Yeah. We watch it once a year. There's like one compilation video. So only it's 4 seasons, like a 9-hour long video, and I just play it. I like do laundry. I clean up my room. I do it on my iPad. I'm just,
See, now I feel like an uncultured swine not knowing this. I feel like
I'm so jealous of you that you haven't seen it.
I feel like
because now you got it.
Have you ever watched like any of the fan made series?
I saw one. It was a fan made animation. It was Goku and he was fighting someone. He did this Super Saiyan form where he actually looked like a monkey. Yeah, but the way he transformed, he had like glowing eyes, he had a fiery head, and the way he transforms into that form is like ridiculous. But it's like this fan animation, this guy did it all himself and it blew up, went viral.
I'm gonna put you on to the greatest thing. Write this down for me on the back side of this. What time are we at? Because I'm gonna have to plug this in 15, 20. All right, Unreal Ent Gaming. This is the greatest fucking channel in the world
Unreal
for any Dragon Ball.
ENT Gaming.
No, you don't have to write that. Just write the time. I'll know what it is. Yes. So are you like an actual fan of Dragon Ball?
Pretty much. I mean, I do watch it, but I do love. I love and respect. Akira, period. But Dragon Ball, it was very in my formative years. Like watching it, it was like I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And technically it was my first anime, but I like to consider Cowboy Bebop my first anime because that's the first. Because when I was a kid, I just thought Dragon Ball was a cartoon.
Do you like the live action?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
I did like it. I didn't love it, but I liked it because I went in with no expectations.
Yep.
I went in pretty much accepting the fact in my brain that like this is Cowboy Bebop, but like a parallel universe version. Because I know they're not gonna do a shot for shot from the anime. Because if they did, why would I watch it? You know what I mean?
True.
So I knew it was gonna be slightly different. So I went in already like that, and I know people that didn't. I'm just like, if you expected it to be as perfect as anime, then
was the first live action anime the Battle Angel one? Was it
Alita Battle Angel?
Yes. Was that the first live action one?
I mean, technically, it was.
Besides like the crappy Dragon Ball ones that they tried.
I was gonna say
Oh,
they did Dragon Ball back
God.
in like
It was off.
Or
Well,
no,
it was
90,
it was something
like
gross.
94.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad.
I think
But the
they-
first one worth a shit is what I'm talking about.
Because then
Probably Alita Battle
I mean,
Angel.
do you
That was a
do you
great one.
consider Avatar: The Last Airbender an
Oh,
anime?
yeah, I
Because
guess
M
you
Night
have to.
Shyamalan,
I guess you have to. That was
we don't talk about that.
that was rough. That was his worst movie.
That was
Really?
M Night Shyamalan.
The
they
Last
had the whole
Airbender.
scene in the water tribe with the.
It was bad. I remember
Yeah?
I remember being
I
in
walked out of the movie
in the theater.
I walked
Really,
out.
you walked
I
out?
walked out.
I've
I'm a
only
big fan.
I've only walked out of one film my whole life.
I don't think I've ever walked out of a film.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I'm Jewish like that.
I paid.
I'll
my
sit
I
there
paid my
angry.
money for the ticket. I'm
Yeah.
gonna sit in the
Well,
chair.
that's the thing about art is it's
We
supposed
have
to
the
invoke,
popcorn.
and you gotta go on the ride.
Yeah.
right.
We already got the popcorn. We're gonna
Yeah.
stay the
Yeah.
whole time.
There
paid
are
for it.
certain films that I was just like, looking back, I'm like, I should have walked in with an adult diaper
Yeah.
because I knew that if I walked, I know at some point with this, especially with the length, I was like for both Infinity War and Endgame, I
Yeah.
walked out once to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I like sprinted down the hallway. And of course, the theater I was in was like the last theater at the end of the hallway.
Hate that.
The bathrooms at the front. I was running, and both times it was two separate workers. While I was running, they were like, "Hey, slow down, we're running." And I was like, "I'm missing Endgame or I'm missing Infinity War." And they were like, "Keep going, keep running." And they're like, "We get it." And
We'll pause,
and then
we'll pause.
when you come back, there's still so much going on that you have to wait for a dull moment to go to your friend like, "What did I miss?" And they're like,
Oh, yeah.
"When?" I'm like, "When I went to the bathroom 20 minutes ago." They're like, "I don't
every
fucking
You
know."
missed
Right.
4 scenes. You missed
Yeah.
4 scenes.
So, but
so
luckily, when I
right.
go back and watch it on streaming, I realized I didn't miss much.
Yeah.
But there were times where I'm just like, I should have gotten an adult diaper.
I want to keep talking. I want to look up one thing.
Yeah.
To get back to that Dragon Ball thing.
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick,
yeah,
'cause I do gotta plug it. Unrelent Gaming on YouTube. That shit is amazing. If
Yeah.
you're a true Dragon Ball fan, it literally picks up. It's deep, so deep into it now, but it picks up right where the manga finished.
Mhm.
Which the manga was on Moro arc, and then granola technically.
Granola.
Yeah, right. See, it's all food. But granola, and then they pick up right from there where Vegeta and Goku are basically just one with the Galactic Patrol. You know, Jocko.
Yeah.
All right, so the Galactic Patrol, and then it's really deep into it now. So where the manga they had to stop because of the death. Well, even before that, there was just licensing issues. And
Yeah.
Akira was trying to acquire everything back from Toei, and now pass it on to his best friend who's running it now. And in between all that, the manga got stopped. So
Yeah.
as soon as it stopped, this channel they went
Picked it up.
in.
Yeah.
They draw it all out and everything, and you watch it as it just rolls up, and they do all the dialogue for it. It's dope.
That's awesome.
That sounds really good. I need to watch
Fucking
that shit.
Dope.
Hell yeah.
Like
Also, don't mind me. I'm just an alcoholic.
Hey, you're at the right podcast. Welcome to Move the Mic, everybody.
I was gonna say like mom, dad, stop watching, but they don't know I do stand up. So
There we go.
That's great.
So that's a good point to bring up. So how long have you been doing stand-up?
So I started stand up April 6, 2023.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in it. You're in it.
Yeah, but it's I've always wanted to do stand up, but I've been like 50-50 on it.
Yep.
And also, can't afford therapy. So it's just like you telling me that people, unless they leave the room, they have to listen to what I say for 5 minutes. That's great. I could just vent and try to make it funny. Because I also that's been the case in my whole life. If you don't laugh about the traumatic shit that happened to you, I'll die. You die. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, how far are we in?
20
minutes.
20 minutes in, we're getting real deep, folks. Strap in.
Let's do it.
But so in January of 2023, I was making out with this guy, and then his cologne smelled exactly like the cologne of the priest who touched me.
Whoa.
And I didn't remember until that moment. I blocked that out. So I smelled his cologne. All that just came rushing back, and I stopped making out with him. I was freaking the fuck out. He took me home, and then like the rest. This was like evening time-ish. I pretty much barely slept all night. I was just in bed, just paralyzed, couldn't know what to do. Now I finally did go to sleep. I woke up and I was like, nothing happened. Everything's cool. I'm just gonna push it in the back of my brain, whatever. But I was in January, and in February 2023, I was with a friend, and he told me, he's like, hey, my buddy does stand up, and he's at an open mic tonight at this place called the Nook in Westfield. Do you want to go? And at that
Shout
point
out
in
the Nook.
shout out to the Nook, Westfield.
Andy Kev.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all?
But it's so at the time I was working at the Big Shop and Stop and Shop, and I was just like, this is not going well. I need some sort of other avenue. I need something to like, because I feel suicidal at this point. This is bad. So I was at that point I was 50-50 on what I should do stand up, and I asked the universe for a sign, and the next day I get that text from my friend. Now I'm like,
awesome.
it was February, and I'll never forget it. February 16th. It was like 2 days after Valentine's Day, so that's all the comics were talking about. And I went there, and I was audience member. I was sitting in the back, and I saw all these comics I'm like friends with now. Emily Sierra, Dean Diaz, Herlan Lino, shout out.
Oh, boys.
All of them.
And it was funny because I was watching it and they were entertaining, but it's so funny looking back, this cocky ass moment I had, never doing stand up once in my life, and I walked in there and I was like, this is good, but no one's really giving what I need to be given, so I guess I have to be the one to give it. Nice. And so the whole BatBoy persona was an OnlyFans persona at first, because at the time, a friend of a friend, I think she still is to this day, she's an OnlyFans model. At the time, she was making triple her rent per month. And I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I was like, what do gays like? Gay guys, they love leather, they love lace, they love anonymity, they love masks and shit, harnesses. Yeah. So I was
BDSM,
like, BDSM, gays love that shit. So but then I realized all the work that it would take to do that, and all content I would have to make, and like,
it's a lot of work from what I've heard.
I would have to film it. Ladies. I would have to film it. I would have to film it in a separate location, because on like my personal Instagram that I've had for years with all my close friends, like in my real life, I post both on my feed and like on my story. I post pictures of me like in my bedroom at the time, so they could just see in the background. I'm like, oh my god, is this you? I'm like, fuck, because it's not like me being ashamed of it. Is that, and this also ties into why my parents don't know how to do stand up, because for once in my life I want something that's just yours. I know. Yeah. My sister knows, but like she doesn't care. And she also has things in her life that she's told me that only me and her know. She's like, parents, we grew up with like strict parents, strict Hispanic parents. They like, we want something that's just ours. So I was just like, I can do this. And I was like, as a gay, how do I pull focus? How do I make it about me? Yes. And so I was just like, I already had this OnlyFans persona set up, and I was like, fuck it, I'll do that for comedy purposes. I remember when I told my friends about it, they clowned me when I told them I was like, not A, I'm doing stand up, so they clowned me for that, and B, doing it as BatBoy. And they were just like, this is so, you've done some stupid shit, but this is really dumb. And they were genuinely just being assholes about it. And then they went to an open mic, and they were like, they were like, not only did you kill, but every single comic was talking about you. Yes. And I was like, yeah, this is the reaction I expected and want. Like, I'm getting all the attention. They dedicate 5 minutes at a time, 3 of those minutes trying to roast me, but I'm like, you're trying to roast me, A, it's not working, and B, you just wasted 3 minutes talking about someone else, and now you only have 2 minutes for you, and I know you look stupid.
So you know what's crazy is one of my first open mics was at the Nook too, and this was almost like about a year ago in November, and what's burned into my mind is the first time seeing you. And
I love that.
One of the few comedians that I remember from that mic is you. And it was like, I remember BatBoy, I remember Cole Johnson, shout out Cole. Haven't seen him in a while, miss Cole. But
I think he's in Boston now.
Yeah, and who's it was Herlan. It was Herlan.
Yeah,
and this was from last November, and it was like all 3 of you guys came up, killed. I didn't even do comedy that night. I just came to watch and kind of check it out.
That's how it starts.
And it was like I just came to watch. It was with my ex-girlfriend. We came. We had food. We checked it out.
I'm trying to look back at my memory if I saw you.
You wouldn't remember. I was so fat. It was incredible. It was incredible.
You were?
Oh,
you were
so
fat.
I was incredibly fat.
He's a puffball.
Yeah, I'll show you the picture on my fridge. I keep it.
I mean, I was also a fat kid growing up, but
people don't understand. There's a different perspective growing up fat.
Oh yeah, and no matter how thin or how much you slim out, it's always inside you. That fat bitch is always there.
Oh my goodness.
Just like, what if we just like went to Taco Bell and just balled out?
Yeah.
Fuck our cholesterol and
time,
felt like shit afterwards.
The only time you see it come out is just when he's hungry.
Oh my.
Like he will full blown shut down, and he will only say like
3 words. I'll be like, literally be like, we gotta go.
Right to the point.
So the angriest I get is when I'm actually hangry.
Same.
So the angriest. So I don't get mad ever. But if I'm low, like my blood sugar's low, I haven't eaten all day. Like Damien goes, "Have you eaten today, babe?" He doesn't say it like that. He doesn't say it like that. But he goes, "Have you eaten today?"
Do you need a snack, honey? It's almost lunchtime.
He goes, "Oh, somebody's hungry." And I'm just like, "Fuck you!" And I get super snappy. Like, I'll be here. I'll just be like, "What are we doing?" I need's a fucking sandwich.
I have
That's
like 3 different types of anger. When I'm really sleepy, when I'm like overstimulated, I'm like I gotta go home and sequester myself, and when I'm hungry. Out of all those 3, my hunger anger is the one that scares me the most. Yeah. I'm like unrecognizable, and afterwards I feel such regret. I'm like in the group chat, like so sorry for last night, but especially when I'm hungry and nobody knows what to eat, I'm like, I'm about to fucking book it to the nearest Chili's while y'all figure it the fuck out.
Like, I know I want some Crispers and a fucking Southwest egg roll. What the fuck?
Yeah, and me being a passenger princess, like I'm held captive.
Yeah.
I can't just be like take someone's keys and drive off. Yeah. Nor can I hotwire a car because you can't do that shit anymore.
Thank God for Uber.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there have been times where, and I start to do this.
Alfred to Taco Bell.
Yeah. I start to do this semi-regularly, but especially once after my first 90 days doing stand-up, I am such a fan of Irish goodbyes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I love whether it's at a mic, a book show. Like, if I already performed and I already got paid, and I really want to go home, whether I'm hungry, overstimulated, tired, it's always those 3 things. I'm like, I'm leaving.
Hell yeah.
I'm leaving. Yeah. It's just because also when you're someone like me, where it's like I can tune my own horn. I've always been like the life of the party wherever I go, and sometimes I'm like the token queer person. I'm like, oh, he's great, he's so funny, he's so zesty. I'm just like, you want to call me a slur so bad. At that point, I'd rather just be called a slur.
Zesty's the safe slur.
Yeah, the safe. It's like diet. Zesty's like diet fag. It's like we can't say it, but you know we mean wink. But when you're like someone who's considered like the life of the party, you're the fun person, you're the comedian of the group. Even before I started doing comedy, when you do want to leave, it's a whole theatrical. But like, oh my, he's leaving. Goodbye, multiple goodbyes. I'm just like, get me the fuck out of here. So I literally just, especially like during the early days when I wore the mask 24/7, I could just go to the bathroom, change. Yeah. And sometimes on purpose, I would wear like a really like quote unquote feminine outfit, and then I would change it to literally blue jeans and a t-shirt, and I would just walk out the Nook.
Like a construction worker outfit, be like,
yeah, I would want like that's because growing up like that superhero vigilante like face blindness is so real. Because I remember growing up and being like, how do they not know that it's Clark Kent is Superman? He just has glasses and his hair swept back. But I would literally, I think I told this to you guys before, but fuck it, I'll repeat it for the new viewers. But I would go to the bathroom, I would change, and I would not have the mask on, and I would, whether it's a mic or a show I was booked at, and I would go outside and I would talk to audience members who were like chilling by the bar or whatever. I'm like, hey, did you guys enjoy the show? Are you enjoying the mic, whatever? Thanks for coming out. Like, you're just watching us practice. Like, this is great. Or you're watching them practice. I wouldn't reveal I was a comedian yet. I'm like, who's been like your favorite comics on the night? And they would like say certain names, and I'll be like, what about that BatBoy guy, huh? He's a little weird, huh? He's a little strange. And they would just go along with it or start talking massive shit. Like, I don't get it. He goes up there with the heels and the dresses or the skirts, and he's a little weirdo. He kind of makes you uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, totally, I totally get it. And then it is until a comedian would walk by and pat me on the back, like, oh, hey, BatBoy, I didn't know you were here. Yeah. And the people I'm talking to, they would be like, oh. I'm like, yeah, bitch, you don't know it was me, and gotcha.
I'll admit, for like the first 3.5 months, I had no idea what your face looked like. I had no idea.
I think I remember distinctly at the Nook. I was sitting there, and the two of you were talking by like what a little water cooler thing is, and like retroactively, like and more comics started coming in. Y'all were all talking, and I was the only one sitting there like by myself. And y'all were kind of like giving side, like, why is that guy by himself? Like, should we invite him? Like, why isn't he talking to us? And then I think CW or Buddha came in, and they were saying hi to everyone. They said hi to me, and they were like, "What's up, BatBoy?" And you guys were like, "What?"
Yeah.
We put it together like the Riddler and the Penguin.
Yeah,
at the same time.
yeah. You're like,
fucking Bruce Wayne.
oh my god. Yeah, that's Bruce Wayne. It's Bruce, isn't it?
Fucking Bruce
But-
Wayne, isn't it?
But
It is, isn't it?
yeah,
What's
but
funny, guys? To the crowd, we still don't know his fucking name.
oh,
And
it's
we're
great.
gonna keep it that way.
Oh, I love.
And in a minute, I love that.
There came a point where
It's so funny. at
Kevin
this
and
point.
Andy, they asked me what my name was, and I was jokingly I said Bruce Wayne, and they were like, you know what, that's what we're gonna call you that from
That's
now on.
hilarious.
So
That's
whenever I would walk in with the mask off, they'd be like, what's up, Bruce?
Yep. Never leave a card there. Always pay with cash.
No, but it's funny because they said that, and the week after I paid with card, and they saw my
no
name on a card.
way.
They were like,
Oh, that's.
but they like
man.
winged. They were like bar customer confidentiality.
Yeah.
Like
Andy's
bartender.
my dude.
yeah.
I could.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
I could
You,
pay him.
you,
No,
you
I don't want
evil
to.
villain.
I don't
you evil
Well, you know what's
villain.
funny is that my name, it's a very Hispanic, very
Don't.
No, I'm not gonna say
Oh,
it's a very Puerto Rican name, but it only makes sense if you are Hispanic and or Puerto Rican. Because when people hear that, like, when I say my name's very Hispanic, they're like, "Oh, is it Jose or Carlos?" I'm like, that's like stereotype, borderline racist. But like other people who are Puerto Rican, they hear my name, like, yeah, that's a very that's a very so. But also like Herland, it's like I grew up people mispronouncing it all the time.
Hardcore.
So like if one of y'all were like see him like the receipt that side and see my name, you'll most likely be like, we're just gonna call him BatBoy.
Oh wait. Are you a Sebastian?
No, I wish. No one
we took
ever.
we took the Uber.
Yeah, so we got the Uber.
We got in the Uber.
You heard this thing, Uber? Can you imagine someone comes up, a complete stranger, in a Honda Civic, like, are you Gek? I'm here to pick you up. Get the fuck out of here. No, but I'm trying to like backtrack. Okay, so my
Oh, Sebastian Maniscalco.
yeah.
everybody.
Shout out Sebastian Maniscalco. Listen,
Friend of the pod. Friend of the pod.
friends of the pod. He's a friend of the pod, but I am an enemy of Sebastian. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no way.
But which I want to go back to my journey doing stand up. But I want to put pen in that. It's also like humble brag.
Right.
It's like it's funny because especially during the beginning of me doing comedy, people like a lot of people, which is like I expected it. I expected more of the hate because I'm like an abashedly queer person. Both on and off stage, especially like during my material. It's like we're talking about sucking dicks tonight. If you don't want to hear it, walk out. But I got a lot of backlash. All like, it's not gonna last. This is just a thing. Like, he's not that funny. Blah blah. I'm like, well, that's just all wrong. But like a lot of people were giving me like pushback, and I love saying this to people who don't believe me. Like I can't pull my phone out fast enough. Probably one of the biggest Batman fans when it comes to comedians out there, Troy Bond. He knows who I am.
Yeah.
He follows me on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Like,
I got hooked. I want to tell you a story, and I've been saving it for just this moment.
really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, please tell me.
So me and my wife went to my wife. I have to do it.
You have to.
Yeah. So me and my wife went to New York City to see Kill Tony, and I went and signed up, right? And I didn't get pulled, but it's fine. So I had one of the best nights of my life, father of four. Right?
My 4 children, but going to see them kill a guy named Tony.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
what I
Braden.
needed.
It was love you, buddy. Love
Sorry,
you.
bro.
He does watch, by the way.
Oh.
So no, it's great. So we're after the show. We're just going through New York City.
Mhm.
It was at Madison Square Garden, right in the dead center. Our hotel's right in the middle of the city. So we're just up and down, and we're going under this building. And as we go under this building, this guy, he's got a backpack with a thing sticking up, Comedy Central, and he's like, show tonight, whatever. We just kept on going. I'm like, oh, that's cool. We get to the other side of the building. There's another guy with the Comedy Central thing, and my wife, she goes, hey, why don't we go see another show? Fuck it. So I'm like, all right. We asked the guy. I asked him like, who's the lineup? Comedy Central. It must be a good lineup. He's like, oh, we're opening with some local comics, and then he's like, you might know the person on TikTok who's got like 2 million followers, Troy Bond. And I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
Troy Bond, if you're watching, I am obsessed with you. Friends of the pod.
Friend of the pod. I'm like, all right, we're in 100%. I paid $60 for 2 tickets.
Fuck yeah.
And we had to. They didn't tell me this when I got there, but we also had to buy 2 drinks when we got there.
Yeah. Another $60.
Right.
In New York.
So, all right, little in on the pocket. We get through this show. I'm just gonna say this before. Maybe third comic in. Any night at the Nook has been better than the comedy that I've seen at this show. I'm not gonna say the venue. I don't want any hate out there.
Shout out Nook. Shout out to Nook.
Shout out. Listen, it was rough. The only thing good about it was the host was this real short guy who looked really similar to Kevin Hart, and he kept bringing it up. So, but literally every comic who came out asked this same couple how long they had been married. It was bad.
It's like that meme where tell me 3 stereotypical comedy things. Like ask a couple how old they are, who's on Tinder, and fuck the stool. It's like,
so here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, we should go, but Troy Bond apparently is fucking headlining this
He's
thing.
in the building.
So we're hanging out. Hour and a half goes by. Troy Bond never comes. Never comes.
That's crazy.
Troy Bond was never on the show. I fucking went on Instagram. Troy Bond was in San Francisco.
They got you.
They fucking got me.
Man.
They got you.
The guy got me with the Comedy Central fucking sticker. Don't fall for the scam.
18 years, and at the 18th birthday, found out it wasn't his. That's crazy.
No, for real. That shit was wild.
They got, bruh.
It was bad. There was one comic who was actually kind of funny because he was doing a different thing. He was a magician. But he wasn't. He was a magician, but he wasn't a magician.
He was no Paul Kilmer, friend of the show.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't a Paul Kilmer. But listen, this guy was like, his whole thing was he is a magician, but he's not. Every one of his jokes or like every one of his tricks it just ended up being like, what are you fucking? You really think I'm gonna fucking show you your card type shit? You know what I mean? And it was just like. Because he was so good at, like, getting you to follow along. Yeah. And then at the last second just being like, you fucking Momo. Magic's stupid. You know what I mean? And he did it, like, 6 times. So eventually, like, people were just belly laughing because he kept getting you into it. But aside from that show was bad.
Damn. Troy Bond, if you're watching, they're using your name for clout,
Dead
bro.
Ass. I even messaged him on Instagram. I was like, yo, I got hoodwinked.
Yo, you owe me $60, fool.
you owe my boy Damon $60, or you can, like, use that $60 to get some, I don't know, get a weapon and beat that guy up.
Yeah, for real.
Just book us on a show.
But
that sounds good. All
it's like,
go to New York and look for the guys with the fucking Comedy Central backpacks.
All real shit, like real talk, like retroactively, I would check my followers list and type his name in there just to see that he's still there. I'm like, my insecurity is like, this is just a joke. Like, he's just doing this for shits and giggles. He probably hates me, but I can I think the catalyst was when earlier this year in April, I think for the whole month of April, Regal Cinemas everywhere. For twice a week, they were playing like Christopher Nolan's greatest hits. They were playing Dark Knight one week, Interstellar one week, Inception one week, and then Tenet. No, not Tenet. Dunkirk the other week, like for the final week. And the one that I saw that was available for my schedule was the Wednesday showing. So like that whole month, I didn't go to the another open mic we go to. Shout out Irish Ale House, Springfield on Wednesdays. I told Maverick Prasad, who runs hell yeah, Maverick Prasad, the guy who runs the mic, God bless him. I was just like, listen, I'm not going to be able to go to any of the Ale House for this whole month because I'm going to be watching Christopher Nolan movies at Regal. But it was funny because a few days before they showed The Dark Knight at Regal, I posted about my story and I tagged Troy. He didn't see it. But then the night of, because mind you, it was twice a week. It was Wednesday and I think on a Friday. Yep. On Wednesday, I posted I always post whenever I see it, before I see a movie, I post like the poster like that's outside the theater you're in. And it has the little showtime. And I was like watching The Dark Knight Rises. Gonna be thinking of I'm thinking of at Troy Bond the whole time. And then he responded like in all caps. He was like, "What? They're showing The Dark Knight in theaters after how many years? Is this in every Regal?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then like 2 days later, he posted, I think on Twitter on his story, he was like, managed to sneak in the last Dark Knight showing. I was like, hell yeah. Cool. And then I think I drew a drawing of him, like a little digital drawing of him for his birthday or something, or because I just wanted to. And then like I have the screenshot saved to my phone, my favorites. I want to print it out and frame it where it's like, it's like Troy Bond liked your story. It's like my notification banner. It's like Troy Bond liked your story. Troy Bond is following you, and then a DM of him replying to the drawing. Nice. And then I think he was just like, "Keep it up. I've seen a couple of your clips. Your bat dad is proud of you." I was like, ah, yeah, because he's like the biggest Batman fan I know, and I've been like following him like for years. And he was one of the comics I put in the back of my mind to like motivate me. Like if I want to get motivated to stand up, I would just watch his sets. And he's the same age as me. He's 26, 27, but he's been doing comedy since he was 16. He started young. So he's already 10 years, 11 years in the game. So he knows the business backwards and forwards. But like every now and then, very rarely, if I'm blessed with his presence, we would just DM each other. And I would just, any comic that wouldn't believe me or just.
Have you ever seen him? Like,
no, I want to. I want to like see him. I know I think he was born and raised in Connecticut, I believe, but he lives in New York now. But he was in Connecticut, I think, at Stress Factory one time, and I was like, I just missed him. But my dream is to like go see one of his shows, and I don't think he knows what I look like with the mask off. And I have him with my close friends, and sometimes he would view it. I think the last time he viewed my close friends was when I posted. A couple weeks ago, when I like didn't sleep for 55 hours straight, and I was documenting my journey in the hospital, and I have like weeks of him not seeing my close friends. That was the one that he tuned into. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. But I want to like go to one of his shows wearing this jacket. This is my you
gotta do it,
yeah. You guys can't see it, but in the back I have BatBoy like all bedazzled.
He'd probably call you up.
Yeah, I want to like go like because go see his shows and go to a meet and greet and just seem like I'm a regular guy. Yeah, I'd be like, it's so glad. I'm like, it's so glad to finally meet you. And he's like, what? And I turn around and show the jacket, and he's like, it's you.
If you're wearing that, he's gonna know.
But like without the mask on. That's the thing. Because
take the mask off after.
Yeah.
Leave the suspense there and be like, hey.
Yeah. I'll probably have to do the reverse because I don't think the theater is gonna allow me to walk in. Unless I let them know ahead of time, but they'll be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Hey everyone, this is a gay robbery.
It's like I'm a local well-known comic in my area, and he says, I don't care who you are, you can't walk into this venue wearing that fucking mask on. But I want to like go to me and get with the mask off, maybe have it like in my pocket, but definitely have the jacket so I can just turn around. He'll be like, "It's you, my son," and we can like reunite. But it's definitely on my I'm manifesting like comedy bucket list. Like I want to open for him. Nice. Because
that's wicked cool.
That's cool.
And also, I ended up helping this other comic. This guy, his name Pete and Louie. He's a ventriloquist comic, which is so rare to come by. And Troy Bond tweeted, "Are there any like local or ventriloquist comics that you guys know?" And then I screenshot Pete and Louie their Instagram. I sent it a DM to him, and I was just like, here, there's this guy. And he was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I told the guy, I was like, I just recommend you to Troy Bond. He was like, mind you, this is the first time I ever DM'd this comic. And he was like, wait, what? And then like 5 minutes later, he was like, dude, he got back to me. And I'm like, I'm gonna be opening for him later this fall. And it's literally because of you. And I'm like,
I think you should just shoot your shot, honestly.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot, man.
I'll be like,
for real. Follow that dream because that's fucking awesome.
I'm like, listen, you're a huge Batman fan. I'm BatBoy. Like he has he has all podcasts where he reviews like Marvel comics and stuff, but they do like Batman stuff.
Where he just did the whole fucking he just started improvising it. He did the whole scene from
The Dark Knight.
Was it Dark Knight or was it? No, I think it was Lord of the Rings or something like that. And his co-host, she's sitting there on the couch. She's like 2 minutes in, she's like, I don't know what's happening anymore, and he's just over here like full. I can't remember the fucking movie, but
I know what you're talking about though.
So in character, I'm like,
he's
guy
such
is
a
awesome.
nerd, but like he's so committed to the bit, and that's a where I personally find myself where like if I love something so much, like I reenact a whole scene for a movie, and if someone joins me on it, I'm like, that's like instant friendship.
Yeah.
But I hate that I did it. I hate that I didn't screen record it. But he went live one time on Instagram. And the moment he went live, I put my fucking mask on because I immediately requested to join the live. And I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So when he does go live, the first like 15 minutes or so, he just like talks to people in the chat. But then people who requested the past 15 minutes, he just clicks on it and he talks to fans like around the world. So I requested, and I hate that I didn't screen record it because it's literally the only evidence is in my memory. I know the audio of it is somewhere because he was on the live in the middle of recording his podcast. So I'm like, that audio exists somewhere on some hard drive. But he was reading the comments, and I was like, "Notice me, Bat Dad. It's me. It's BatBoy." And he was like, "Oh my God, hey BatBoy." And he said my name, and he looked at his co-host like, yo, I don't know if you know about this guy, but BatBoy, he's like doing the fucking thing. Like he is just, that's my dog.
That's awesome.
He's great. And I was just like, literal tears, and I was like, I didn't screen record, so I don't have the evidence. Only he has the evidence, so please, so my friends don't think I'm liars. Please, Troy, I need the audio of you saying my name and giving me good praises, or I will kill myself. But obviously, like I told like some other comedians they believe me, but it's good to, even if they 99% believe me and they have that 1% of doubt, it's good to have it. So I'll be like, fuck, he knows who I am. I'm not lying. Yeah. But it's like the one flex that I like to do. But it's like, it's so validating when people just validate your comedy like that. Yeah. And I'm just like, and it's weird because it's like I've learned like no, there's not a single person. It's for all y'all watching. Not a single person on this planet can validate your own existence except for you. You are the only one that can validate your own existence. 100%. You can maybe like I search for like for Troy Bond, for example. It's always a good plus when he validates me, but I'm not having that my sole reason to be validated as a comedian. Like you're the only. At the end of the day, it's just you. So if you can't acknowledge and validate your own existence, you're gonna be seeking it from other people for the rest of your life, and that's not good. So I don't want to make it seem like I think I'm a shitty comedian unless Troy Bond says I'm good. It's like, no, I know I'm a good comedian. I know I'm funny. Yeah. But it's just a plus.
We wouldn't let you
come to
that anyway.
I can see y'all like throwing stones at my window. Like, stop it. Stop being sad.
He's out there holding up playing a fucking 70s song. I'm fucking
an
holding
80s
this
ballad.
No,
you're a great comedian.
It's like saying anything where you have a boombox, but somehow it's the Batman score from the Robert Pattinson one. Just that loud, which I think he took from Star Wars. He just remixed it.
Yeah, everything's Hans
I love
Zimmer.
that shit. But yeah, you're the only person that can validate your existence. If you search for other people in any aspect of life, whether it's like your personal life, being a comedian, being a fashion designer, whatever, like being a rapper, musician, you have to acknowledge, because when you're left to your own device, it's just you. Yeah. So if you don't acknowledge your own existence and tell yourself that you're enough,
I feel like everything's in modesty though, because like look at everything you just said, right? Is great, but then if you go too far, there's like the level of Kanye.
Oh yeah.
Too much self-validation.
I've learned that it's no longer fun to make fun of Kanye anymore. It's just sad.
Mentally.
Oh, no.
He's has a little,
but
yeah,
I miss like he has that song. I miss the old Kanye. I'm like, yeah, I miss the old Kanye where he went on TV and said George Bush does not care about black people. I'm like, let's fucking go.
Or even go older than that, when he was on Dave Chappelle's show and he actually came. He didn't even talk to anybody. He was there just for the music. Like he loved Dave, but he showed up with Talib Kweli, he showed up with Common and all that stuff. He was in the back on the tracks doing his fucking thing because that's what he loved. Yeah. He was a genius back then. He's a genius now.
Yeah.
He just.
I miss when Kanye was the teddy bear.
Hates Jewish people. It's wild.
I miss when Kanye was a literal bear.
Yeah.
That 3-album run, it was 3 of them. So fucking good.
No, but if you go back and watch like young Kanye on Chappelle's show where it's just Chappelle nodding in the corner like this, and you have all these famous human beings right there. He does not care about anybody else. He's there for the art. Like that's what he's there for. And you don't find many people like that. Even like us as comedians. You know what I mean? How many people are actually in it for the comedy?
Yeah.
In this area,
right. Most people
50%.
Most people are in it for trying to get somewhere, trying to, you know what
I would say even less than 50% because a lot of people, like, they don't realize that comedy, like, I was talking to my friend, one of my friends who does drag, I was talking to her and I was like doing drag comedy. It's the long con. It's the slow build. If you think this is a quick get money quick scheme, you're wrong. You have to work at it for a long time and put in the hours for people to even recognize who you are.
You don't even get respect until you're about 10 years, and then if you go and do a set and you don't get laughs for the first fucking 4 minutes, and then you run the fucking light another 3 trying to get a laugh. And
I'll end on a really good joke this time. I swear. It's like the last 4 weren't good. Like, the host is on the side of the stage. Like, they're literally going to pull out like a comedic little old-timey crane, a hook, and just pull you in. Like, you're done. But I noticed a lot, and it's literally like, and it's funny enough that the comics that I noticed this behavior from, I don't see them do comedy more. And this is the reason, because they thought they were going to have, like, go viral on TikTok, go very, very quickly, and then they're just going to all of a sudden, like, be on like you can't like not doing comedy one day of your life expect you to do your one set, you're gonna go viral on TikTok, and next thing you know you're on late night with Jimmy Fallon. That's not how it happens. And if it does happen, that percentage is so low, it's negigible.
It's not even awarded, honestly, because of things like Reddit and the internet. Like look at half the people who come up from the show Kill Tony. Within 2 months they're completely annihilated. 70% of the viewers don't like him anymore. And then you like look at other people like I just had another example.
The Hawk Tour girl,
Matt Rife. Like
hate him.
Everyone hates Matt, right?
Hate him.
Not
with
a friend of the pod.
Enemy of the pod in my life.
But that's because he came up so quickly. Like it seemed like he was put in front of us, right? But in all reality, like when you break down his writing schemes and how he's constructing jokes and even his crowd work, he's actually a good comedian.
And he's been doing it since he was 16. He's been in the business.
Yeah, but just the way he went, like, that's possible for people like us.
Yeah. Because
we actually care about comedy, and we're not just trying to fucking get to the biggest show.
Yeah.
So maybe one day our craft will be so refined, and then somebody will just notice and be like, holy shit, you're fucking funny, come do my show.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, we're on that level, and people are like, oh, this guy sucks, or this person sucks. But in all reality, it doesn't help that he's fucking gorgeous. You know, nobody likes a gorgeous person in comedy.
I hate. I grew up in a house where my mother told me, you know, hate is a strong word. You can't hate everything. So if you're gonna hate things, save it for things you actually hate. I hate Matt Rife.
Hey, give me 3 reasons why.
Oh man.
One,
I like that.
One, I don't like him because.
Oh, I thought you were gonna end it.
No, yeah, that's it. That's my time, everybody.
I don't like him.
No. Well, first of all, he spent like tens of thousands of dollars on a jawline that I have naturally, so it's like you can fuck off.
Did he though?
No, he got surgery for getting that jawline gain, which is fine. But the thing is, anyone that calls him out for it, he goes ballistic. There was a 14-year-old on TikTok that called him up for in the comments, and he sent his fans after him to the point where the fans were able to dox this teenager.
Hold on. How do you don't know?
Go into his house, fight his family. I'm just like, why are you
there was,
allowing your fans to do this? Like,
what if there was
up.
like a terrible accident and it's like a super sensitive subject and he's never told the public?
Well, it's a shame that the accident didn't fucking get rid of him. I also don't
love you, bad boy.
I also don't like that physically he looks like every single twink and soft butch lesbian on the dating apps wrapped up into one. And it's like, what's going on here? Like, people are so worried about like me being non-binary, or like people who are under like the trans umbrella. You're so worried about queer and trans people, non-binary's business. Can we figure out what the fuck is going on with him? What's going on there? And also, like, I personally, and this is just a personal thing. Obviously, I'm not judged during execution, but I personally just don't fuck with his comedy style. Yeah. No. Also I hate seeing it now with comedy. Very rarely you see comedians' actual material on Instagram. 99% of it is crowd work, and I hate it. You listen, I understand it. Crowd work, it's 100% improvised moment. You're gonna get some real moments between real people who are watching. If you handle a heckler well, it's gonna go viral. If you deal with a certain couple and they're like, it's literally improv because you don't know what that person's gonna say, so you're taking a chance. But I want to see your actual material. Yeah. If all you do is crowd work, I'm like,
pay
I don't.
for the show. That's what
Yeah.
their social media is for.
Yeah.
They only
gotta
put
pay
that
for it.
they only put that stuff out there to be like, oh, if this guy can handle that, then maybe it's worth actually going to a show.
Yeah.
Well,
I know you want to see some of that though as like a trailer to like, what am I going to pay for?
Yeah.
As much as you say like crowd work's improvised, you can plan crowd work. You can
Yeah,
make
you
jokes and be
can.
like, hey, pick the biggest person in the crowd out. Be like, make a chubby
Yeah.
joke or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Or it's just like, hey,
100%.
this happens.
Yeah.
I have something.
And it's not that I hate crowd work at all. It's just I hate that that's like 95% of the market for like everyone. Like but there are some that I love watching. Jessica Kierson. I don't know if you guys know Jessica Kierson. She's like a New York like she's like New York depressed older lesbian Jewish lady.
Yep.
She's
like
amazing.
Louis Black,
but her crowd work, especially when she finds the gays in the crowd, it is just it's so good. Yeah. It's so good. But again, I don't hate crowd work, but I just hate that every time I scroll, I'm just like, I want to see something that, and a lot of the videos, and I hate to like beat a dead horse, but like whenever I see Troy Bond's videos, it's like, at least what I see on my feed, it's rarely crowd work, and it's just him actually just talking about his life or like things that happen to him, traumatic things that happen to him, and he's making it funny, which I connect with. I'm just like, that's why I love him so much, because it's not him just being like, so how long were you guys together, huh? Oh, wow, 17 years. Give it up for 17 years, everybody. It's just like, and now I just sound like Joe Capinos.
I feel like that's
shout out Joe Capinos.
Shout out Joe Capinos.
I relate a lot with that because that's my style of comedy too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just
what,
talking,
like turn like trauma into?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like talking about the crazy fucked up shit I've experienced.
Yeah, I never forget when I first saw you do your set, and I was just like, therapy dog killed itself. he has 4 kids and 3 baby mamas. His
man
sister
can't pull out of a fucking driveway.
Yeah, sister on meth. It's like, is this? Am I watching Shameless? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, that was like your first roast joke.
Yeah, I was just like, is this your life story? A whole episode of Shameless? And then like I got to know Damien. I'm like, oh, he's great.
Yeah,
I love this.
It's crazy because I've always loved your roast stuff. Always love how quick you are on the stage, and so you bring new stuff. You bring new stuff almost every week, but you tie it into that old stuff to make like a congruent story about yourself.
True.
You have a physical act where you lay on your stomach now and twiddle your feet.
Oh, I love my Dear Diary bit.
Love it.
I
That's
love
awesome.
it.
But I've never heard a bigger pop at the Nook than when you fucking called me Lord Farquaad. I've never heard
that was
the crowd
one of the
just
best
go,
nights.
Boo! Because you were
So
just
much.
like, where'd Eric go? And I was like, probably using the bathroom or getting another drink. And you saved it. You saved it for when I walked back in. It was like, how dare you talk about me with your Lord Farquaad looking ass?
Yeah.
And I was standing in the back of the room like the king of fucking Duloc. And I was just like, I could not help myself but fucking laugh. It was so
love that moment. I also love that in general, you're one of the few comedians I know that you are such a good sport when it comes to being roasted.
If you can't take a roast,
What
go
are you doing?
home.
What are you gonna? Why are you in comedy?
Or
Why are
meet,
you in comedy?
Or meet Damien in the alleyway.
Yeah.
Hey,
So I don't
I'm
want.
trying to stay clean out here. Don't put that pressure on.
It's like, I don't want to live my life. I don't want to live a part of my life where I'm judged at all. I'm gonna try comedy. It's like, mama, that's the wrong move.
Bring it on.
I want to say though, one of my favorite moments so far was maybe this is self-centered, but yes, I was on stage, and you had just came off, and you'd said something about. I think it was actually the same night. You called him Lord Farquaad, or no. He went up on stage. I remember it's coming back. He went up on stage and he made a joke, and you said something like, "Don't try me" or something like you kind of flirted back, right, in a comedic way. And then when I went up on stage, I was like, yo, Eric back there is still flipping his hair to that one.
Yeah.
Woo! Yes!
And you know what was so funny? I think it was that night at Bishop's Lounge. Shout out to Bishop's Lounge when we were the afters when all the comics are on the balcony, the smoking or whatever. And I asked to touch your hair. It was so funny because everything leading up to that moment, it was like, I'm telling you, like weeks of me like, I need to ask Eric if I can touch his hair, because I make fun of his hair all the time, but it looks very soft and I want to touch it. And weeks of me wanting to do it like on stage specifically, and then I would get off stage. And I'm like, I didn't ask him on stage, I didn't call him out, so I had to do it before I leave. And I wouldn't, so I got home and I would literally tuck myself into bed and be like I couldn't. His hair. So like that was such a big moment for me personally. It was like I finally asked him, and he said yes, and it's very soft.
Yeah.
Very
Well, it was
soft.
like the same situations, except it was just like racially flipped, and it would have been super racist. You know?
yeah.
Can I touch your hair?
Can I touch
It's like,
it?
no,
I
dude.
really wanna, but also it like tied in. I make fun of his hair all the time, but he has great hair. So it's like
I broke a comb the other day combing it.
Really? How'd you do
Thing's
that?
thick. Thing's thick. I got thick hair.
thickums.
I was just going
I
like
got
this
thick
and it went.
ass hair, bro.
It
Come on, thickums.
I got both halves.
Mm.
I got
My
the thin
trinkets.
side and the thick side. Baby.
Ah, that's
Shrink.
if I had a nickel.
Yeah. Right, shout
But,
out to Baby Shampoo, friend of the pod, baby.
Somebody sponsor this man. He needs a
I'm
fucking
just-
comb.
I'm trying to get us.
Please help us. Please, we're just a bunch of babes in the woods. You know.
can't afford another comb. Bro,
he had to save both halves.
they give those out for free every month in jail.
I was gonna say, didn't your kids just have picture day? What the fuck can I do?
I have many combs.
I'm a man of many combs.
Biggest combs you ever see. Excuse me.
We have the best combs here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody makes combs. Like you make combs.
It's a great solid 12-inch comb. No one complained about it ever.
I'm gonna comb in my pants. We're having fun on the pod. We're having fun on the pod here.
So what the fuck? Okay, so my stand-up journey, right?
Yes.
So February I saw my first mic, and I was like, next week it's on like Danky Kang. I'm fucking doing comedy, and it's gonna be amazing, and no one's ready for it. The next week I got COVID, and it was such a stupid thing because
The fake disease.
at the time my sister and her wife lived with us, and they had COVID, and I was so stupid. I was like, yeah, we're in the same house, yeah, we use the same bathroom. But they're very clean, and they always know to sanitize, and they're quarantining. So of course I'm not gonna get it. Yeah. And on day it's like you have COVID for like 2 weeks. On day 13 of them having it, while they're on their way out, I was on my way in. I was like, fuck. So then I was just quarantining at home, and then I was dealing with COVID, and then also with work at the time, and I was also seriously like, I'm gonna quit Stop and Shop. It's happening. But I had to wait until April. Because in April I would get my 1 week's paid vacation, and I was like, I'm taking this 1 week's paid vacation for 7 days. On the 8th day, I'm quitting. I'm not gonna quit while weeks paid.
Fuck the establishment,
exactly.
bitch.
So I was just I'm gonna do it. So then in March I started writing, and then in April 6th I did my first time ever doing comedy, and it was
awesome.
the rest.
Good for you.
And I did it. And I wore the mask 24/7. Like before I walk into any mics, I would have the mask on, and I wouldn't take it off until like sometimes I would just go to the bathroom, take it off, and wear like a face mask, and then so that's still concealed. Or I would literally, like, especially at the Nook, I would just go out into the alley, turn the corner, take it off, and then just
Breathe.
How long did it take for you to give up the face masks, though?
So here's the tea, and I'm just gonna be spilling more shit the more I drink alcohol.
Let's
But-
go.
So, another good friend of mine I met through comedy, Danny Piguero. Shout out to Danny.
Shout out, Danny.
We went to go see the Barbie movie, and right before the Barbie movie started, while we're sitting on this little couch in the hallway where all the movie theaters are in, like movie started like at 7. It was like we got there at 6:30. We have 30 minutes till the trailer start. We'll just sit here and kill time. We sat there, and Danny they told me unprovoked. They were just like, I've been wanting to tell you this. But I also, I like in one of Danny's bits, have the memory of a goldfish. It was like I just kept forgetting. But I wanted to tell you that I was at this other comedian, Dan Shea. Shout out Dan Shea. He's a Connecticut comic, and he was having it was like one of the last days in summer, but it was still kind of in September-ish. The last days where it was like hot before it started to get cold, and weather started to get like fall, wintry. So he was gonna have like a end of summer like barbecue bash, whatever, at his place. And I got invited, but I didn't remember it happened until the day after. I was like, probably should have went to that. Yeah. But it was destiny that I didn't go because Danny was like, I went. And there was, at one point of the night, there were a bunch of Connecticut comics, specifically Connecticut male comics, even more specifically Connecticut straight male comics. And at some point, they all got in a circle, and they were just talking massive shit about you.
Really?
They were just going in, like saying shit. That
Fuck
was, like,
Connecticut. I'm going to see y'all next month, bitches.
There was like vitriol. She was telling me, Dan was like, it was bad BatBoy. And I was like, oh, really? So I started to, like, my heart started racing, and I started getting excited because I was like, you're just giving me fuel for the fire. And
Give it all to me.
Yeah, I was like, tell me what they said. So, and she told me, she was like, everyone there except for me, Dan Shea, Dave Sheehan, and Emily Sierra stood up for your name when you weren't there. Every other comic in that circle was just talking shit, but they were outnumbered. And they were just, they were just like, BatBoy's just a pussy ass bitch who relies on the mask for funny. Instead of going up there and preaching about gay rights, maybe his faggot ass should start doing jokes. I was like, oh, okay, we're playing this now? Okay, so then that was in September. And then the next month in October, I did my, I had a feeling that night where I was like, I feel like the Nook is going to get packed and a lot of Connecticut comics are going to be there.
BatBoy signal.
Yeah, I felt it. My little tingle, my BatBoy tingle. I was just like, my dick was just like, hey. But so I was like,
hey, go talk shit.
I was like, not only do I have a feeling that the Nook is going to get packed tonight, but I have a feeling that a lot of Connecticut male comics are going to be there. And sure enough, they were. And not all of them, but a good chunk of them were some of the
shit talkers.
Shit talkers. I'm not going to say their names now because I have plans for that later.
We can bleep it out.
No.
I'm kidding.
Fuck you. I'm trying to ask for work.
Wait until you guys get a sponsor and get some funding. But so not all of them, some of them were there. And so I went up there, and usually, like, you can see from the hole in my mask, I do what's called the egging, where before I put this mask on, I have, like, a little hood, and it, like, flattens out my head, and it helped a lot when I had, like, long hair. So I put the egg on, and then I put the BatBoy mask on. That night, for the sake of the bit, which you'll find out in a couple seconds, I didn't put the egg on. I just put the mask on. I had the eye makeup and everything. I wanted to look, like, as intimidating or crazy as possible. I went up there, I'm like, my classic BatBoy fit, just leather, just, like, I went up there, like, I can tell by the audience members, specifically some of the comics, they can tell my energy was off. They were like, we should stay in the room for this. And so I went up there, and I was like, y'all, contrary to how I look, BatBoy is he's a very loving character. He's a very loving creature. You're never gonna catch BatBoy getting into like jokingly, I'll get into like conflict, but serious wise, BatBoy's a creature of love. He's not one to get into conflict. And I took the mask off, and I was like, but I am. And I was like, hi, it's me, the other guy. I usually don't pop out, but apparently a lot of y'all are talking shit and saying that I'm not only funny with the mask on, that I'm afraid to take the mask off. I just want to let you know, biggest mistake you can make is coming for me when I did not send for you. I didn't send for you.
That's some dark shit.
So why are you coming for me?
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, and when I have the recording, I haven't posted about it, when I took it off, there was like some gas, and there were certain Connecticut comics, I saw their faces, they turned pale, and I was
let me find out you're the Joker. You're just wearing this fake ass Batman mask to try to fit in.
Wait, they made a comic about the Batman who laughs.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna take a little quick pee real quick.
Go piss, girl.
I'm gonna sneak behind you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not.
There we go.
Oh,
ooh, I love this.
2 seconds.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just like, listen, y'all are talking a lot of shit, and I don't like it at all. So just be careful what you say, because I know a lot of things. I know a lot of people, and with these bat ears, I hear everything.
Ooh.
But I choose not to say shit. And which was true. I know a lot of shit about y'all that comics either told me in confidence, specifically female comics who warned me about the male comics in the area, or like, again, at the afters, comics, you get to give a couple drinks to a comic and they'll spill their beans. And I don't spread it because it's like stuff that's either A, not my story to tell, or there's stuff that is my story to tell, but I'm like, I'm going to be a good person. But just know I have my finger on that red button and I can push it. And when the shit hits the fan, none of your current friends are going to want to be friends with you. They're going to want to be associated with you. You're going to be done. So I was just, so after that,
I feel it. The energy.
Oh yeah, but after that, there was a handful of Connecticut comics there that I gained some street cred that night.
Oh fuck yeah!
Where they were just like, let's just leave them be. And when we see BatBoy, we're gonna smile and we're gonna be nice.
You're probably like, I don't want no one knowing I buy feet pics.
As someone who has bought feet pics, that's not that shameful. Well, in my opinion, until I look back and I see the transaction, I'm like, I just paid for something I could have seen for free on a different site. But it's like it's like that exclusivity. Or like this is someone else's.
As a man with 4 kids with 3 baby moms, I just can't fathom paying for pussy any more than I already have.
You know, I can't either. I can't fathom paying for pussy at all. But
yeah.
No, but
paying for anything. I just mean like
I feel
feet,
that.
like no,
but
none of it.
That night, that was like the shift, and from that night, starting from that point, I do what I currently do, where it's like I only put the mask on right before I go on stage. And if it's a mic, the moment I come off stage, the mask comes off. But if it's a comedy show that I'm booked for, I keep the mask on until we take the group photo at the end.
Hell yeah.
And I'm always the person that after the host says everyone have a good night and everyone starts shuffling out, I go, if the host forgets to say it, I go to the mic. I'm like, can we take the group photo so I get the fuck out of drag? Like, I've been wearing heels all night. I'm suffocating under this mask. I'm a heat sensitive Puerto Rican, which is proof God doesn't give with both hands. And I'm just like, I need to take this off because I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna pass out and die. And knowing my dark sense of humor, if I passed out and died, people are like, "Oh, BatBoy, another stunt. Oh, you getting attention." And then they'll feel my pulse and it's like he's dead. But now, if it's a book show, the group photo is my key. Like, once that's taken, I'm out. I go to the bathroom. I fucking get out of all of it, and then I would like walk out. And so there's always 1, maybe 2 comics, whether they're booked on the show or who just came to support, who haven't seen me without the mask off yet, and they see me walk out, like either in the same exact outfit, just no mask, or like a similar outfit, but I have like the same bag that I would carry, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's you!" Yeah. I would have noticed. I'm like, "Yeah, I sneak thief in the night."
Last show him and I were just on I was ready to fucking go. Okay, I was ready to go. I literally said to him, "I'm like, I'm about to be out." I stood up, trying to just make my way out. Our friend Danny goes, "Don't," in front of everybody on it, "Don't you dare fucking leave!" Just screamed at me. I'm like, "Fuck, caught me." All right, so I'm gonna hang out.
Trying to Irish goodbye everybody. It's just like,
then
hey,
fucking, they wrap it up. Jazz starts doing the tallies. I'm fucking dapping people up, ready to go. Me, him, and Tony hitting the bullshit, and I'm ready to leave.
I wanted to stay for that one because apparently karaoke was popping afterwards.
Yeah, it was fun.
But Jazz, Jazz just, I'm like looking over here, and Jazz goes, "Holy shit, we got a tie, Damien and Vince," and I'm like, "What?"
Well, thank God you didn't leave. Shit.
No,
hell yeah.
Karaoke was fun.
I wanted
it was a good show. It was fucking.
That was
a great.
That
show.
was the one time where I didn't in a while where I did an Irish goodbye specifically because I was hungry. And I was like, I need to go home and make myself something to eat. And I know that once I get I get into my pajamas and I make that sandwich, I'm gonna be like, it's over. I can't because at first I was like, if I rush home and eat and come back, I can make it for karaoke in the afters. But as soon as I crossed the threshold to my house and took the heels off, I was like, it's over. I'm making that tuna sandwich, and I'm out. I'm out like a light. I was just in bed, just like not even sleepy, but I was just like in my little blanket burrito, just watching YouTube, just watching music videos of like early 2000s, like music videos I loved as a kid. And I was like, this is nice. I needed this. And then, but it wasn't until after Sarah Carroll, shout out Sarah Carroll, she was like, I can't believe you left. Karaoke was popping. It was great. We missed you. I was like, but that was the one time where I didn't leave because I wanted to leave. I was tired. I was just so hungry and I couldn't wait. And what got me to do it is that we already were running long and we already started late. And then there were a bunch of comics on the lineup and Danny was like, so each of y'all are going to do 5 minutes. And I was like doing the math and I was like, that's way too much time. I can't wait sitting here hungry. I have to go home and eat.
Yeah, but it's not healthy to like, once you're at that point, your body is straight up telling you.
I've learned to like only eat when I'm hungry, only sleep when I'm tired, which just led to like dramatic weight loss.
Good for you.
Great, like better sleeping habits. Nice. Like, but also depends if I get really tired at midnight. There are some times where I get exhausted at 9:30 p.m. out of nowhere. Yep. I'm like, you know what? Once I get tired, I'm like, I'm not even gonna fight it. I'm gonna go to sleep. And like, eating when you're bored. Eating just for the sake of eating is like not good. And like someone who's like suffered from eating disorders on both ends of the spectrum, it's like, it's I get real picky with things that I eat, and like it doesn't help. Like, I remember like growing up, I'll never forget this. But I remember I was at a Chili's, and Chili's prevents me from killing myself. I don't know about y'all, but Chili's is
It's only
like
the fourth time we've heard Chili's. This pod is brought to you by Chili's.
Chili's,
friend of the pod,
Chili's,
friend of the
Chili's,
pod.
get me in a commercial. I will literally, honestly, just boast about your food.
Chili's,
But and
baby.
now that I started working again, and like once I start getting a more consistent schedule, like I promise myself that I'll try to get a group going. But if no one is down, I will go by myself and use a good chunk, if not all, of my first paycheck to treat myself to Chili's. Because last time with Chili's, I'm a frequent Chili's visitor, and the last time I went was in April to say goodbye to an old coworker who was going to go work at a coffee shop. She was going to work in California because her husband is in the military, and that's where he was stationed. She's like, not only am I moving to LA, but I'm gonna be working there. So as a goodbye in April, we went out to Chili's, and I'm someone who goes to Chili's at least once, twice, sometimes 3 times a month. And I haven't been since April, and we're fully in October, and the suicidal ideation is
What's your number one like thing at Chili's?
honey chipotle chicken crispers.
Wow.
With loaded mashed potatoes as a side, or French fries, or both. You know, I'll eat the fries in the restaurant, but I'll be like, can I get a box for the loaded mashed? Because I'm gonna have that later.
Man. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. I haven't had Chili's in so long.
It's
I'm jealous.
I
remember how good it was.
I told my friends, I was like, I'm gonna try to see if y'all are available, but if none, I will gladly go to Chili's.
So do
by
you have
myself.
beef with Applebee's?
No, I love Applebee's.
Okay,
Are you kidding
okay.
me? If you have,
didn't know
if you
if
haven't
that-
been blitzed within an inch of your life at Applebee's from the Dollaritas, you haven't lived. And they brought those back. They're bringing it back. They're bringing like a new flavor back, and I'm like, ah.
I've only been to Chili's once, and that's because Buffalo Wild Wings was closed.
Oh. All right.
I went to Chili's because Buffalo Wild Wings is like it's like the most heterosexual.
I think I have 75
very straight
TVs.
coded.
Sports. and
Yeah,
that-
I walk
They got
in
a
there.
punching machine
I
in
walk
there.
in there,
As
and
soon
it's,
as you watch in, the hardest
Watch
punch.
in.
As soon as you walk in, you have to punch that machine. And
Yeah.
that's
No,
how you get
literally.
your seat.
Yeah.
That's how you get your seat.
I went there.
Your sheet.
Your sheet. Get your sheet. But I went there one time, and it was with a friend because it was for a party we were going to, and he was in charge of getting the wings, and he was going to pick up an order. So we didn't even dine in. I went in there, and I was like, I'm gonna get hate crime so quickly. I was trying to be incognito. It was like a guy, and I don't know jack shit about sports. But it was a guy wearing purple and yellow, fighting a guy with a cheese hat.
Nice.
And I was just like, what the fuck? And my homie was like, yeah, fucking
Hell yeah.
Packers and Vikings fans.
That's
They're just
right. Let's
fucking,
go, baby.
and they fight each other. And they're like, go Pack, go. And I was like,
There's
oh,
nothing better than a
God.
good old
Go
sports
Pack, go,
brawl.
Yeah.
Because like it's nothing personal. They're just fighting
For their team.
purely.
Yeah.
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 There's nothing personal about that brawl.
I bet you I asked him, like, yeah, this is my best friend from Northside Kindergarten. He's my closest friend. We've been through shit together. He has a horrible team, but I love the guy. I love the son of a bitch. But they were just like going at it, and I was just like, "What? Is this allowed? Is no one gonna stop this?" And we were literally there for not even 5 minutes, picking up food and leaving. But I was like,
You ever seen the show Spartacus?
no.
What?
I'm Spartacus.
Have
I'm
you ever seen Spartacus?
No.
The HBO
No, I
Max?
never watched
No.
It's not HBO Max. It was way before that. HBO.
It would just be an HBO.
Holy shit!
Spartacus.
You're gonna love Spartacus. So the whole
Is that the guy? Is that the guy from 300? No.
No, Spartacus
Similar.
he's a gladiator. He's a gladiator, and he was standing up for the slaves that were also gladiators.
It's a very
And
true story.
Oh,
So it was
love that.
they went to go fight because Spartacus was such a nasty fighter. They were like, we want to see the one called Spartacus, but we want to see him fight the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the other side. And so everyone stood up for him and be like, hey, I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. Like, they all wanted to fight with him, essentially.
Oh, is that where that
Yeah,
comes
that's
from?
right.
I hear that referenced in pop
Yeah.
culture like all the
Yeah,
time. I'm
so
Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus.
I'm a history buff.
There's a
Oh,
there's-
Captain, my
yeah,
Captain.
True. There's a massive. It's one of the best things HBO has ever made, and it's like three seasons, and it's like it's very time real. You know what I mean? Like what the owners would do to their slaves, what the owners would do with each other. Like so, gladiators. You must understand they were slaves just like everyone else. They were traded. They were if they lost an arm. They were nothing. They were literally brought outside and turned to meat for pigs. So it was it's a very realistic, but it's like
Been
more,
there.
It's but it's more attuned to like the it's very like
you like traded in as meat for pigs. I'm like, ooh, girl, been there. Am I right, ladies?
Turned for meat for bears.
Funny enough, bears. I don't mean to like interrupt you, but like bears are my type. Cause like any typical gay, listen, I'm here to tell y'all. I'm usually the gay police because I'm usually like the one gay guy amongst all these straight comics. If a gay guy is into,
that's the listen.
I'm not into. I'm not into chiseled men, but God.
No, listen.
Damn.
This whole
Can he take that sword and shove it up my ass?
This entire show is.
Oh
just
my God.
Men on men. Listen, time realistic. So there's a bit of homosexuality. You're gonna love the show.
Oh, they were in. Oh, what? Oh, you think that those men were in that Trojan horse just twiddling their thumbs? No, fucking.
They were twiddling their thumbs for sure.
They were drinking wine. They were like, let's fuck. But what I was saying, like, if you know a gay person, a gay man specifically, and his type is into bears, he has daddy issues, okay? Because I never had that older man who can like tussle my hair and call me a good boy and say I'm proud of you.
Confused for a minute the way you. That shit you and Eric had going on.
Yeah.
That's what made me think of the glory hole bit.
Whoa.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Comedic back and forth.
But I never had an older, hairy dad bod guy to like tussle my hair and call me a good boy and say I'm proud of you, so I seek for that in sexual partners.
Me either, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. I know you talked briefly about your like very early stages. You said you didn't have a father. Were you?
No. I had a father. What I like to say is that I had a father. I didn't have a dad.
Okay.
Like he was very typical Hispanic dad. Like he brought home the bacon. He was the guy that had to have everything on his shoulders to keep the house afloat. And both my parents worked, but he's very, very prideful.
He got home tuned out.
Literally would work. He's a carpenter. Still is to this day. This man, he needs to retire. This man, he turned like 64 in August. Like he has to retire. But he would come home from work. He would take a shower. He would sit on that couch and then just watch TV for the rest of the night, as he should, because he worked hard as fuck. And I appreciate him for being a hard worker. I recognize and still love and respect him for what he did as a father. But for a dad, it wasn't so much. Like there was no like playing catch. He never taught me how to ride a bicycle. Like just typical stereotypical dad stuff I saw like in Disney Channel movies. I was like, oh, I would have loved to have that.
Super weird because my dad was a carpenter too.
Yeah.
I mean,
really?
He used to drink on the job though. So when you're on a roof and you're drunk, you fall off a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. I was really hoping you were gonna say you were an orphan.
Well, the thing is, we went to the movies.
I just picture my mother's pearls.
Yeah, we went to the movies and they were like, hey, let's shortcut to the parking lot. Where do I park the car? We'll just go through this alley. And
I mean, you had said like.
And this Lord Farquaad guy came up and he was like, give me your stuff. Give me your stuff. Yeah. And then I'll never forget her pearls flying through the air. And I fell in a manhole and there was a bunch of bats and I was like, ah. But yeah, so I do like, and it took me a long time to like get over that. Cause like, when you spend time like trying to communicate with your inner child, it's a lot of self-reflection. It's a lot of like.
You need to call Eversource.
Yeah.
Trust me, you can get over this in about 3 hours waiting on hold.
Oh yeah,
with Eversource.
But with sidebar, that reminds me of this funny Bill Burr bit when he talks about like you can't get angry when you're talking to like customer service because they're waiting for you to curse so they can hang up on you. So you be there for 3 hours and you're like, motherfuckers, like, sir, I don't have to listen to this. Click. Fuck! It's like, and you have to call back. But so it took me like when you like reconvene and you recommunicate with your inner child, it's a long conversation. I feel I've gotten to a good stage with my inner child. What terrifies me more is that the next step is talking with your inner teenager, and that motherfucker scares me. He's hormonal, angry, confused. He's closeted. He's like, what's going on? But like, what I'm saying is, it took a long time for me to get over the fact that like those years that you could have had to like have those dad bonding experiences are gone. Yeah. And I just have to appreciate for what I have now.
For sure.
And just respect the fact that, like, you know, I recognize him as my father, and I still love and respect him, but I can't keep holding on. Because also, he was just mimicking what his father did. My father grew up on a farm.
Yep.
So, like, his father was just like a farm in the mountains of Puerto Rico, just like working class guy, and just like very like to himself, never really shares much. Like, my father was also in the army. Any moment where he would unprovoked drop some dad lore, me and my sister would just be like, write that down, just like I think he told me once, it was funny because I was talking to one of my other friends, and he's like a history buff, and he knows a lot about history, and I was like, oh, my father dropped some lore today, and he was like, well, what'd he say? He was like, he told me that he was somewhere in Europe, and he was by this like wall. And there was like people, there were like these hands reaching through like the crumbling parts of the wall, and they were handing him and his army guys love letters to their families because they didn't know if they were going to be able to like send it to them. And this wall was like, it was like crumbling around them, and they didn't know what to do. And my friend, he was just like, BatBoy. Now, he didn't call me BatBoy, he called my real name. So it was like, hey, redacted. He was like, when did this happen? I was like, I don't know. He's like, you said your father went to the army right after high school. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, and that was like what, late 80s, early 90s? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And he was just like,
go for it.
And he was doing the mind. He was doing the math, and he was like, was this Berlin by chance? And I was like, I think so. And he's like, was your father at the Berlin Wall when it came down?
Holy
and I was
shit.
doing the math, and I was like, oh my God.
Papito, what are you doing?
He was there. And that story I remember vividly. I have another one when they went to
That's so fucking cool.
right? They went to this ski resort. I don't know if it was in Sweden or somewhere cold. They went to the ski resort to like take a little break there. I think it was maybe somewhere in Sweden, because he told me, he described people as like these Swedish white motherfuckers were looking at us the whole time. And when they went and they were trying to change out of their uniforms, like the camouflage, all they had to give them were these thick, bright, magenta pink turtlenecks. And mind you, this is like a whole squad of just these like machismo Puerto Rican men. Like, what the fuck? They give us these pink turtlenecks. I'm not going to wear this shit. This shit's gay. But it was also freezing there. So they're like, we have to wear it. So just having this image, I have this image in my head of this elevator at this ski resort of a group of buff, tan, masculine Puerto Rican men with their arms crossed, wearing pink magenta turtlenecks in the center of an elevator, and then on the edges of the elevator, there's these little nice white Swedish people looking at them like
looking like a synchronized swimming team.
Yeah, it's like a shot from a Wes Anderson film, just them in the middle, like grumpy, and like this nice Swedish people are looking at them. My father's just like, what? And it's just like, and they didn't speak the language.
There's the one guy in the back who's just like,
yeah. Yeah, but I just have that image in my head. It just cracks me the fuck up. And there's one other thing that he said. I think he told my sister knows it better than me, but I think I went to the bathroom when he was in the middle of telling the dad lore. And then when I came back, it was done. So I think she knows. But very few snippets of him telling me stuff. And when I was moving, because I recently moved to Northampton, when I was moving from Springfield to NoHo, we were cleaning out the house. I found like a bunch of old like Polaroids for when my father was in the army. There's like one of him doing push-ups. Nice. There's one of him like in a tank. Yeah. There's one of him shot from the perspective of the tank. It was like driving through like a river, and you see like the fucking. I was like, what the fuck? And he would tell me about like blanket parties.
Listen,
Found out what that was.
He wasn't trying to block y'all out. He was just trying to like relive the best days of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he told me like I remember one day we were watching this movie. He's like, hey, that reminds me of like the blanket parties we would do in the army. I was like, what's a blanket party? He's like, well, you pick a target, someone who's like sleep with you when you're in the bunks, and you have a bunch of guys on each side of the bed. They would hold down the blanket. So so when they wake up, you can't move. It's like a cocoon, and then all of his friends would like fill their pillowcases with whatever they can find. They would just
bars of soap.
Whack up.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, it's a blanket party, and I was like, and he was just telling me this, and I'm a child. I'm like horrified. And then he's just there like, good times. I'm like, what the fuck were you up to?
I'm sorry, that's not what I imagine when BatBoy says blanket fight.
Yeah. So we're gonna go into the covers and we're gonna talk about our feelings, tickle each other a little bit, you know.
So growing up in a military family, did you guys travel quite often? You guys move bouncing? Or just military base locally? Like
he was carpenter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was in the military for a little bit. Then and he was gonna continue doing it. And then when he met my mother and he wanted to start,
well,
family,
I mean, all you gotta do is a 4-year bid.
But we did move a lot specifically because like I blame gentrification. But like we moved, I've lived everywhere you can in the city of Springfield, every neighborhood, because when the moment things got pricey, we're like, we can't afford it, we gotta get out.
Yeah.
So and my mom tried her best. She didn't want us to live like in the hood, in the ghetto, because she grew up in a bad neighborhood in Puerto Rico. But me and my sister, we always say 2 streets away.
Nice.
So it's technically still in the good neighborhood, but the closer you get to right when it gets to the ghetto, you might technically still be on the good side, but it's still not good, bro. It's still a little like, you know, like mind your business. When you walk to and from school, like we look on a sidewalk, like you didn't hear nothing, you didn't see nothing. So we never really lived in the cut, but always two streets away, where it was right there.
Yep.
But we moved around a lot, which is like a reason why like friendships are such an important thing for me, because growing up and moving around so much, it was like I'm not even gonna bother making close friends at the school because I'm gonna leave by next year. Like if I track it now, all of kindergarten and the fall semester of first grade was Catholic school. Yep. And then I didn't realize till I was older you have to pay for Catholic school, like a lot of money. So I was like, that I understand we couldn't afford. But and then the rest of first grade and all of second grade, I went to another school. 3rd and 4th grade, another elementary school. 5th grade, I went to another elementary school.
That's wild.
6th grade, and like the first couple months of 7th grade, I was in a certain middle school. Then the bullying got so bad that for the rest of 7th grade and 8th grade, I went to another middle school. And then high school was the only one where all 4 years I stayed there. Nice. So I moved around so much that I'm like, making friends was so important, but also so difficult for me because I'm like,
I make unimportant because you felt like you were just gonna be fucking shipped out.
Yeah, I'm like I'm gonna leave at some point because this neighborhood is gonna get priced up.
I was real similar to that as well, but like between states. So and my mom, she would move. I mean, I would go down for a summer and she would move 2 different times. You know, I mean, we would bounce between whatever guys she was with. You know what I mean? There was a couple times where. She would like rent a trailer for about 4 months, you know, and then not pay for it, and then the next month, you know, we're being kicked out and shit like that. So I mean, I get that a lot. And then like I'd come up here, and my dad, you know, he didn't have anything together for a long time, and then so I fucking feel that, like not like wanting to make friends, like the people that I know now. I had met when I was younger, and they're like, they see me as a completely different person. They were actually almost kind of like, why is this guy back? Because when as a kid, I had that same feeling, like, I'm not going to let you get close. I don't want to get close to you because I know I'm not going to be here long.
What's the point?
So I was just angry at everyone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I've always been a social butterfly. I've always been, you know, like wanting to, you know, be like known and cared for and loved, because I never got that from anywhere else. So like, but then at the same time, I had to treat everyone like they were kind of my enemy because I was never gonna be able to get close to them. So I felt that for a long fucking time.
I was definitely a social butterfly growing up, and also a real butterfly because you know. it's
Lexi. This is what's been chasing you.
It's me.
That's my sister.
Don't look under the bed. But yeah, it's weird because like it's also it's so weird looking back because it's like I really was in denial for who I really was for so long, but it's also interesting like because my family is also like I was like the first domino that fell. Like I came out, and then my sister came out as bisexual, and my mother came out as a lesbian, and we're all looking at my father like.
Your dad.
He's literally.
I don't even. What a guy.
Yeah, he's literally that meme. Like he's literally that meme when like the daughter and the mom come out and he's like, "Does anyone in this house love cock?" And I'm like, "Get ready for this, then."
What is it? Hip Hop Harry, the Big Bear. Who's next?
Yeah. But it's funny because one by one we all come out and then we look at him and he's just like, oh no, I'm like, oh, we could have been a power family, just everyone queer, but you had to be the one outlier. But interesting enough, my mom.
He's seen too many heads explode.
Yeah. I have no idea. Growing up as a kid, I respected and feared my father the most out of anyone because I'm like, all I know is that he was in the army. He never talked about it. And like, I don't think anything that bad happened, but just the way he would like fuck with me, I'm like, he killed someone.
Where he just sit on the porch
gotta
and
think.
smoke cigarettes.
Smell, yeah. He's like drinking a Heineken and just looking off into darkness. I'm like,
Yo,
you're good,
really,
Pop?
though, like, could you imagine trying to like have sex with a woman like after seeing so many women's bodies
And carnage?
just fucking mutilated?
Oh, yeah.
Like, like even guys that you were close with at a time were doing crazy shit. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying your dad did crazy shit.
I
But
don't.
war is fucking crazy.
No.
And I'm just
Unless
saying.
the only way to know
he
is to ask
probably
him.
knew somebody who did
Mhm.
something crazy
Oh, yeah.
to a woman, and now he's trying to make love to his wife. I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine. Thank
But
the stars, man.
funnily enough, my mother, she thought she was bisexual for the longest time because she also wanted her goal was like I want to be a mom, I want to have kids. She's been a preschool teacher for over 30 years.
Yep.
Like she loves nurturing. Like she's that person. And so she escaped from her abusive household. She moved to Amherst. She went to UMass.
Nice.
Mind you, English was her second language. She's in a lecture hall with like almost like a giant lecture hall with like at least like 50 something students, maybe even more. And there's one professor at the bottom, and she would try her best to sit in the front. And she had a tape recorder, and she would record the lecture. And when she would go back to her dorm, she would listen to it and like slow it down so she can understand it, understand English better. She was so heartbroken when he died, but she learned a lot of English and diction from Alex Trebek because that man's pronunciation was just perfect. She would watch Jeopardy and learn English from him. But she had like some friends who were like, they were also Hispanic, but they learned more English than her. They would help her. But because of the language barrier and also money, she didn't finish college. She felt like kind of a disappointment. Like she was the first person in her family to go to college, like her and her two brothers. But she was she was on the first one. She was like, and she felt so disappointed. So then she was in a relationship with a woman. They lived in Northampton for like 5 years. Yeah. And then, which like in lesbian time, that's a lifetime, okay? And then out of nowhere, she gets a call back from home that her father, my grandfather, he was sick. He was in the hospital. He wasn't doing well. They didn't know if he was going to make it. Turns out he did, but
thank God.
she didn't know later. But she was freaking out. And she told her girlfriend at the time, she was like, I have to go back home because I don't know if my father's going to make this. And her father was like big gambler, big time drinker. The man had like no neck. He had holes in his liver. It was like, it wasn't a matter of if, only
He
when.
looked like me.
Yeah. I pull a side-by-side photo. I'm like, oh my God, it looks like Eric just with a tan.
Enrique Williams.
Yeah.
Enrique Guillermo.
So she told her girlfriend, she was like, I have to go back home. And then her girlfriend was like, well, if you have to go, I guess, you know what, just go then. And she was like very nasty about it. And my mom didn't like how easily she let her go like that. She was like, we built a life for 5 years and you just easily let me go. So fuck you, bitch, I'm leaving. And when she went back home, turns out my grandfather was fine. So they did what every Hispanic family does. They need to find an excuse to drink and party. So they closed off the street. They had a block party for his health. And mind you, it was the reason why he was in the hospital because of his drinking. And they're like, let's just drink more and have food. And they had a house party at her childhood home. At that party, she met my father.
That's so cool.
Nice.
So it was like a destiny meant to be thing where she met him at that party because he like knew a friend of a friend of a friend in the neighborhood. And then they met, and like the rest was history. And then like growing up, I think when
Are
I
they
was
still together? Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's so funny now seeing them casually talk about signing divorce papers. But when we were younger, and I was like,
Fucking guy.
I love that. Are they still together? Oh wait,
This
no,
fucking guy.
lesbian. But then like when growing up, when I was like 7 or 8, they start arguing more, start yelling. They never got physical. That's two things I love, two cycles that they broke from their parents. The physical, like abusive cycle, and the Catholic cycle, because they didn't choose to be Catholic. So for me and my sister, they're like, we're gonna try out Catholicism with this Catholic school shit. And if they don't like the moment, and we ask them how they feel, like maybe after a year of doing it, and if they tell us they don't like it, we're just gonna stop it and have them find their own path. We're not going to push this religion on them like our parents pushed it on us, which is good. But so they never physically fought, but it was a lot of yelling and arguing to the point where it's funny because she like banished him to the basement at some point. And he's a carpenter, so he just finished that basement, made it his own man cave, and he's like, I love it down here. But and it was a while, and I would wonder, and he would wonder, and she would wonder, like, there's something else here. Why didn't we not work out? They were married for like 17 years. Damn. So that why didn't it not work out? And then she was like, oh, gay. I'm a lesbian. And poor my father was racking his brain like, did I fuck up? What's going on? The moment he found out that it's because she was lesbian, all that went away. He was like, oh, it has nothing to do with it's literally something you were born this way and you can't control it. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with me. This is you're gay. So who cares? But all that doubt, he's just like, oh, yeah, she's gay. Who cares? Yeah. But it was funny. Like a couple years ago, we were like all four. It's rare for me, my sister, and both my parents to be in the same area at the same time, and we were all just driving from IHOP. And we were driving back home, and they were just casually talking about they can't wait to sign the divorce papers. And me and my sister were just looking at each other like, it's so weird. Like, obviously, it's not as insane now because, like, she has a girlfriend, and he also has a new girlfriend. But, like, out of context, this just sounds so weird. Just, like, the two teenagers in the back and the parents are in the front, like, I can't wait to divorce you. He's like, I can't wait to divorce you. And I'm just like, we're like, what the fuck is happening? But from an outside perspective, we're like, oh my God. Wild, but yeah, and then the girlfriend she has now, she met her. She literally did the 90-day trial, and like on day 91, she texted me, hey, I'm outside. Let's take some goodbye selfies by the U-Haul because I'm moving in with her in New Jersey. And I was like, what? And I literally looked outside, and there they are, these two dykes by the U-Haul, like, hi. And I'm like, what the fuck? We're just taking goodbye selfies, and they drove off, and she's with her in New Jersey, and they're happy now. But I'm glad
she didn't say Fall River. You know what
I mean? They got good chow mein. Yeah, chow mein Fall River.
And her girlfriend was, I think, she was born in PR, raised in New York, and now she lives in Jersey. And like, I was supposed to go out there this weekend for like my mom's birthday weekend, but like, I just finished training at this job, and they were like, as soon as you're done training, you have to start working. And they basically told me the nicest way possible. If you don't start working now, we'll give it to someone who's available. Ready. I've been unemployed since May. I need a job. I need income. So I was like, and my mom completely understands. She was like, yeah, get that job. You need money. You need an income. Just do it, and you'll come for Thanksgiving. But it's no sweat off my back. Like, don't worry. For sure. But she's been telling me about New Jersey and just all like the gay clubs she'll go to with all of her gay and lesbian friends and all the food they would eat and all this stuff. And it sounds really fun, but yeah, she's having a fun time. My father's he had to move in with his girlfriend after this move situation. He didn't want to because he values his space, which I think I get that from. He loves his space. He's like. Yeah. When I'm in my room, I'm just like, I'm in my room. This is great. And no one could bother me. But he moved in with his girlfriend. Thankfully, my sister and her wife, they took me in. But yeah, it's just, I'm glad that this is happening now that I'm old enough. Because if this happened when I was younger, I would have been a hot mess. Yeah. Like, what do you mean you're divorced? Is it me? I came out as gay and you were like, we can't raise them together. We got to split up. But... yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like,
you would have got a whole lot more Christmases. Let me
tell
you.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
2 Christmases, 2 Thanksgivings. As a fat kid, I would love 2 Thanksgivings.
You think it's gonna be 2, but one always fucking sucks. Way more. You're like, why am I at this one? The other one's way more popping.
Yeah.
Every fucking year. You know what I mean?
But. Yeah, it's
sad, man.
What? Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it down.
Keep
going.
Do you need a hug? Like, what's happening?
No, I do this every pod. I just bring it into my general trauma. Yeah. Thanks for coming back.
You're great.
I love the Dolly Parton shirt. Hell yeah.
Right? That is.
I was so mad. Love Dolly Parton.
We have the same size tits.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I was so mad because Dolly Parton, she endorsed Moderna, and I was like, as a gay, I have to support Dolly, so I'm gonna get the Moderna vaccine, but you can't choose what vaccine you got. So when I got there, I was like, what am I getting? You're getting Pfizer. And as they're putting it in, I'm like, I'm sorry, Dolly.
You got the jab?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we got you on soon because the government's going to flip a switch and you're going to turn into a zombie any day.
I'm gonna turn around, put some Alka-Seltzer tablets, and like,
did you see like they got fucking scientists have proven they're like looking at people's genetics now, and it's the patent for the fucking vaccine was a motherfucking. They're calling it a device. It's not even called a vaccine. It's vaccine to the social media, or not to social media, but to media in general. In reality, it's a device. And they're seeing now that it's literally taking the DNA strands and wrapping them around. They're two parts have attached to 2 different parts of your DNA, and they're joining together.
Oh.
Why the fuck is a vaccine coiling our DNA? Nothing's like.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah,
If it
what the
keeps
fuck's
coiling-
gonna happen?
If it keeps coiling,
Maybe I'll be a real bat. I just know it.
Man, the man
Like,
bat.
yeah. Like
You're gonna be boy bat.
Pinocchio,
Boy bat.
but Pinocchio wants to be a real boy. I'm like, I'll be a real bat someday. If that does happen, I grow bat wings. I can't wait to just be like in the alleyway at the Nook. I'm like, you need a ride home? No, I got this.
Let's go.
I'm like, goodbye. I was also thinking of like, because this goes back to like when people like saying I rely on the mask too much to be funny and I'm afraid to take it off. I was seriously considering of like getting like a headshot, almost like a mug shot of me, like without the mask on, and like putting it, like printing it out and like putting it everywhere in like all different sizes, and like on my face is like, who the fuck is BatBoy? Just like as a smear campaign against myself, and then me to be like put out performance like, oh my god, who would have done this? How would I get a picture of me? Oh no, my identity is ruined. And then like later on, just be like, it was me the whole time. I did it. But I was like, no, that's a lot of work that I can't.
If you could have a superpower, though, what would it be?
Good question.
Huh. I don't want to be a basic bitch and say flight. But at the same,
I mean, Batman couldn't fly.
Yeah, that's true. But like also, and I kind of want to say invisibility sounds cool,
It's just
but
perverted.
but it's perverted. And does the type of invisibility I have mean that things also go through me? Because think about it: if you're invisible in a crowd,
Like
you're just if you're in a crowd and you're invisible, you're just an empty space. People can be like, "What's that random empty space in that crowd of people?" And they just like throw it at you. You know what I mean? But then also like stretching, but I think it's because I was just like I loved Elastigirl growing up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I saw. It was funny because I sat down right before bed. I was like, I'm gonna watch the inaugural episode of the pod because I'm gonna be on it soon. And then y'all talk like 30
5 minutes
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
No,
5 minutes in, y'all are thirsting over Elastigirl and then talking about Aunt Fanny, and I was like, and I shit you not, the night before I saw. This was last night, Saturday night, Friday night for shits and giggles. I was going through Hulu, what movies they have, and I was like, I want to watch the movie that I haven't seen in a while. Maybe like a movie I loved when I was a kid, and they had robots. So I saw robots Friday night, and 24 hours later, I'm watching y'all like, who is that Aunt Fanny? And you said, well, first of all, well, also, the cast for that movie is insane. You got
good.
Mel Brooks as Big Weld,
Yeah, it's wild.
Ewan McGregor as Rodney Copperbottom,
Ewan McGregor.
Jennifer Coolidge as
Obi-Wan
Aunt Fanny,
Kenobi.
Amanda Bynes as Piper, Robin Williams as Fender, like.
Yeah.
I forget.
Master
I
class.
forget the guy's name. He was in this movie that came out called. He's a very popular, like comedy guy. He was in this movie called The Holdovers. I think he played the villain in Big Fat Liar with Frankie Muniz.
Bald head.
Giovanni.
Yeah.
yeah.
He plays the little guy in the robot city that guards the gate.
Okay.
And he's like, "You really think I'm gonna let you in?"
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Thank you.
He's like that little Muppets looking guy with the big hat, and he's like, I want to see Big Weld. Oh, why don't you say so? And then right when Ronnie walks, he closes it. And he's like, you really think I'm gonna let you?
Don't they cover him in blue shit in Agent Cody Banks?
Yes, they do.
Throwback, Agent Cody Banks, friends of the show.
Or what's that
Friends of the
liar?
show.
Or what's that liar? Big Fat Liar.
No, that was Agent Cody Banks that covered him in blue for sure.
Was that?
Oh, maybe it was. All right. See,
I
that's
was
why we need a
obsessed.
producer.
I had like such a crush. I had such a crush on Frankie Muniz growing up. So like Big
I
Fat
think
Liar.
Everybody did.
He was just so funny, but also so like joyful.
Kid-like.
He was so funny. All right, now
Pause.
I would like to clarify. I had a crush on child Frankie Muniz when I was also a child. All right, not anymore.
Yeah, the crush does not exist anymore.
Not anymore.
That's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, like I was, because after watching, I was like, when the opening credits are showing, Diane Wiest was Rodney's mom. Stanley Tucci was Rodney's dad. I was like, what? If you show this cast to someone, they'll tell you what movie it is. They're like, what movie is this with all these fucking A-list motherfuckers? And they're like robots.
Cody Banks. I'm just kidding.
They're like robots from Blue Sky Studios.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
But I literally watched that, and I'm like, what happens when I fucking turn this fucking inaugural episode on? Y'all are talking about
immediately talking about cartoon booties.
It was definitely Big Fat Liar though, because they did it. They put it in the pool. And he comes out.
That's what it is.
He hops in the pool and he comes out, and then he's got to get to
I
his
was
meeting.
obsessed with him.
No, it was Big Fat Liar.
Yeah, I know.
Yep, 100%. Now I'm thinking about it.
I've been in like my.
I'm glad it takes your validation.
Fucker.
That's all we needed, Eric.
Fucker.
We need Eric Williams' seal of approval, like with a frozen wink at the end.
You're right. Yes, you're right.
But I think it's also lately I've been obsessed with like revisiting like coming of age, like teen rom-com comedies, because when I was in the emergency room and I wasn't sleeping for like 55 hours and I was there waiting, like my time in the ER when I was waiting, I watched all 3 High School Musicals, Freaky Friday, both Camp Rocks, and I was like,
I don't wanna give up.
I don't wanna get out. Hey, take me away.
That's the shit.
So,
yo.
and her guitar solo,
Yes.
creaming.
If you guys didn't think this episode could get any gayer,
Oh, fuck
But also like a movie where the lead is Jamie Lee Curtis, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, the gays and the straights won. Like,
yeah,
amazing.
No, dude, that movie's dope. I don't care.
I
was laughing 'cause you were singing.
I love when they swap and they're going downstairs and the husband is talking to the mom who's already swapped with the daughter. She's like, "Darling, could you like chill for a sec?" It's just so because it's like it's Jamie Lee Curtis pretending to play Lindsay Lohan,
Right.
how Jamie Lee Curtis would act. Like it's just a layer within a layer within a layer. But that movie is so. And I was so jealous growing up of like Lindsay's aesthetic because it's like early 2000s. She has that whole grunge thing going on, and I always wanted to like I was an emo kid, but I was like an incognito emo kid because I was never allowed physically to look like an emo kid. I was never allowed to grow out my hair and straighten it, wear eyeliner or whatever, paint my nails and like.
What was the one with the car?
Herbie fully loaded.
Herbert fully loaded.
Herbie fully loaded. Ah.
That was fire.
She was pretty dumb in that movie,
Yeah.
though, right? Like
I think my favorite Lindsay Lohan film, it would have to be neck and neck with either Parent Trap or Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
It's got to be Parent Trap.
Parent Trap.
Confessions of it. That makes me think. What's the one? Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah.
No,
That one was funny. That one was
That movie's
ridiculous.
hilarious.
Ridiculous.
Wait, what's the
bro.
one where the girl's like addicted to
America's
kissing
in
trees?
Addicted
it
to
was-
kissing trees?
Yeah, it was
What
real similar.
the
It was like
fuck
I
are
want to
you-
be a star or something like that. She was.
Oh, she was hugging a tree.
Yeah. Fuck. It was.
What?
It was the same woman. It was the
Fuck,
principal
what
in
was that?
School
Dude,
of Rock.
Yeah.
Joan Cusack.
Yeah. Okay. Is that
Love School
And she-
School of Rock.
School of Rock. I love that.
that
actually,
shit.
So I actually went to see that. I think it was like whenever it came out. Might have been my 9th birthday, and I brought a group of friends, and it just plays in my head nonstop. It was So you remember when the keyboardist thought he was like super, just like wasn't ready for the band, and it
Yeah.
was just like, and he went up to Jack Black. He goes, "Mr. Schneebly, I feel like I am not cool enough to
Yeah.
be in the band." He goes, "Chill, what are you talking about, man? You're super cool." And he goes, "Let's rock, let's." That
Yeah,
lives
let's
in my
rock
head.
today. Yeah.
Lives in my head. It was just like the best movie I've ever seen.
I loved Joan
And she
Cusack
loved,
in that film. though.
she loved Stevie Nicks. That was her thing.
Yes, I remember that was also when I was introduced to Sarah Silverman.
Yep.
And to this day, I feel like if I ever met her, my first thing is like, "You're that fucking
You
bitch
fucking
from School of
bitch.
Rock."
I was like, "You fucking Schneebly."
No, but it is such a power move. That scene where Dewey finally admits to his brother that he was pretending to be him, and then she walks in. And he's like, "Don't tell her." Then he leaves, and she's like walking around. She's like, "What's going on, Ned?" And like and the camera cuts off. You just know that she that she pegs him. Like it was very like dominatrix mommy vibe. She was like, I don't know what she said to get Ned Schneebly to squeal, but it worked because next thing you know, he's at.
She didn't have to say anything. She just
Yeah.
looked at.
He's at the open house and he's looking at the police gun. He was like, "I have been touched by your kids, and I'm pretty sure I touched them."
I touched them too.
And
That
the
was
parents
the
are like,
best
"What?"
line. The
And then
best
so many good
line.
lines. Also, when the parents are arguing with the principal, she's like, "So unfortunately, all of your children are missing."
It's so funny.
So, and then he just started. But I love when he gets her drunk, and then she's like, "And that pressure has turned me into something that I never wanted to be." And he's just like, no, yeah, I am. Yes, I am. I am a big one. I'm like, Joan Cusack is just, I love that.
The funniest fucking part to me is when he goes, I want you guys to lean into me. Like,
oh, yeah, and the gay kid.
He goes, you're tacky and
And
I hate you.
you.
And he goes, okay. He was like, oh, what?
It was like, I think he said something before that, but you're attacking and I hate you was like minutes later when they were done.
Yeah, he was like, all right, stop.
They moved on to the next segment of class and he was still going. He was reading him to filth. They were like, you're attacking and I hate you. I hate that tie you're wearing. You're wearing horizontal and vertical stripes, you faux pas ass bitch. Like,
well, Freddie the drummer calls him. And he's like, does anyone know what hungover means? He goes, doesn't that mean you're drunk? He goes, no, it means I was drunk yesterday.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's
We'll finish this crapola tomorrow. Like, it is so.
He just takes a bite off a roast beef grinder, just rips it and just puts it down. Oh man.
Miranda Cosgrove as just like the class rep, just such a anal bitch.
Oh man, she was just a.
So she was like, it was like, oh, you said we were groupies? I looked it up. They're sluts. They sleep with the band.
And he goes.
And then when he tried to get the kids into the competition, she was like, yeah, they have a very rare deadly disease, stickitodemoniosis. And then it cut to the kids, and they're like coughing, and then one of them puts like a white tarp and puts it over Freddy's dead body.
Yeah.
And he's just like, those poor kids, like, yeah. Poor
They'll
guys.
never get to rock.
They'll never get to rock out.
Man.
But that movie, so quotable. In the ancient time. Like, and he's like, it's just, there's fog and
And the
spotlight.
legend of the rent was so hardcore.
Yeah. And he's like, I want you guys to do some backing vocals. Like, no, you're not. So you're not hardcore. No, you're not hardcore.
Unless you live hardcore.
Unless you live hardcore. Like, it's so. And then the kid who played the guitar, who wrote his original song, funny enough, I was finding out that he went to jail for stealing guitars in like a Guitar World or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very like meta moment for him.
His like birthing moment into the crime scene was like, or crime world was stealing the prop guitar from that movie.
That's how we got there, man.
Yeah.
That's how we got there.
It's so.
Oh, Zach? No, that was the drummer.
Yeah.
No, Freddie was the drummer.
Freddie.
Zach was the guitarist guy.
Yeah,
That was
okay,
him.
cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
and he was like, take this home, and it was like a Led Zeppelin CD. It was like,
Yeah.
this is your homework. Listen to it.
Oh, I love that.
Enjoy it. He goes.
Speaking about the legend Jack Black, have you ever played the game Brutal Legends?
No.
It's a Xbox 360 game, exclusive to Xbox.
Boo, Xbox. I'm just kidding.
Oh!
It's funny because I'm so team.
We have a battle.
No, no.
We're moving on.
It's
We're
a
moving
battle.
on.
No, I love
It's a
that.
battle.
No, wait. I
Moving
love
on.
that I'm so team PlayStation, but my very first big console was an Xbox.
That's
It's a
awesome.
battle.
Moving on. Moving on. All right.
It's a battle.
The game is called Brutal Legends, and it's Jack Black's video game. So it's like an RPG, open world, and you're Jack Black, and he's just fucking super ripped, wicked thin waistline, fucking long hair, and like the battle sequences. Well, it's open world, so it's not like Final Fantasy where you're in a choose style battle, but you whip out a fucking guitar, and what comes up on the screen is like Guitar Hero style shit where you got to click in the buttons, and you're fucking shredding away, destroying all these gremlins and shit. It's a dope ass game. I can't believe y'all haven't heard
That
of it.
sounds so good. What the
It sounds
fuck?
fun.
I
Yeah.
feel so
Sounds like-
uncultured.
Well, it sounds like you remember that game when we were kids. I don't know. Overlord. What was it called? It was like you
Penis
had to-
touch. No, wait. No, sorry. Different game. Different game.
Penis
Brutal
touch.
Legends.
Penis touch. That's what the Catholic
It's
priest want
super
to play.
dope,
Penis
man.
touch, Jesus.
The game starts like, you know how the opening menu happens.
I have never seen this.
The game starts where it's actual live video of Jack Black, and he's like telling this fucking story about this magnificent one of a kind record, and it's in this only store, and nobody knows about it anymore because it never got logged in by the old timers, you know. So like he brings you into the back. You're literally walking through this fucking record store, and you get into the back. And he's like, no, I can't find it. And he's like, oh, it's the best. You know, he's talking about it. And it pulls out, and he's like, oh, we got it. And as soon as he opens it up, it becomes the actual menu for the game. You can choose campaign, begin, restart, whatever. You know what I mean?
That's
options.
It was dope.
That sounds dope as fuck.
For like really as a gamer myself, like looking back at gaming, it was one of the first games to really be like that because it was open world as fuck. You could create your own car and fucking mayhem machine and fucking.
That sounds even better.
Just travel around and like
Sounds
you
like
would.
drunk driving.
There would be like damsels.
That's what I call my penis. Mayhem machine.
Yes. There'd be like damsels in distress being like, it's funny because there'd be like roadies out there, right? Which were the bad ones or whatever. And you would just be driving and then all of a sudden there'd be a damsel being ganged up on by roadies. And you'd have to come in and beat up the roadies. Literally, they were trying to rape this girl.
Oh, God. Beat them up.
Yeah. It was a wild game.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I just can't stop thinking. My brain is still
Kung Fu Panda.
My brain is still thinking about School of Rock. There are different times where, like, if I need to be revived or I need to be healed in Fortnite, I'll just literally, and all my friends will get this. I'll be like, "Heal me! I'm hot sick.
That's a good song.
I'm hot sick, and I wanna live." Like, and they're just like, "What are you talking?" They're like reviving me. I'm like, "Heal my hungry!" Like, just, and they're just like, I'm like, "Y'all never saw School of Rock? Are you fucking dumb, bro?" It's so good. But a lot of those feel good coming of age like movies I love.
I
And
feel like they're done. We haven't seen one in a long time.
and that movie
Yeah, I
got
know.
me introduced to like I remember watching it, and every time I would watch it, all the bands he would mention, I'm like, what are these bands? And I would be like a kid listening to
when
Led
he was
Zeppelin.
giving
like,
people homework, he was like, "This is Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Have you ever
You
seen?
need to take this and take it serious."
Yeah.
You ever
know
seen
what I'm
the
talking
Mark Wahlberg movie Rockstar?
no,
I have not.
Mark
I haven't seen it.
Mark Wahlberg,
Fucking Mocky Mocky.
Yo, he plays. All right, so you know the
Marcus.
You know the band Red Velvet Revolver?
Yes.
No, it sounds pretty.
I guarantee you, if I played
sounds
their
hot.
if I played their song, you would know.
Velvet Revolver.
Red Velvet Revolver. They're
sounds-
really good.
RVR.
So this
River.
this movie is like loosely based on that band. Loosely, there's a lot of exaggerations, but Mark Wahlberg plays the lead singer, where they're just a local band in town. They go to a movie or they go to a show. Next thing you know, they get a chance to play. They play, and people are like, "Holy fucking shit, who are they?" So they get boom projected into the rock star world, and it's his. You know, he's got a family at home, a girl, and everything, and he's got to adjust. You know, she catches him cheating and all this. It's very loosely based on the actual story of Red Velvet Revolver, and the music. And here's what you don't actually know: Mark Wahlberg sings every fucking song.
Live?
Yes, he actually sings all the songs.
Marky Mark. Damn.
And it's wild. Let me just pull up a little clip right here, and I'll pull it up later. But
While Damien pulls up the clip, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, to the pod.
Ooh, I love a little plug there, Bad
Yeah,
Boy.
a little plug.
Thanks.
And if you don't, I will be in the corner of your bedroom, watching you, stroking it.
I'm not wearing hockey.
yo,
Great line.
so here's a little.
What's the difference between you and me? I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Yo, just so you guys, I want you to see it. Like this movie is great.
Ooh, long hair, gay.
Oh, let me skip to like. It's like. That's him. Yeah, hold on. Oh, this ain't even the song. There's like. My point is the soundtrack is fucking dope. And when you realize that it's actually Mark Wahlberg,
It's even
really
more impressive. Yeah.
It's wild, dude.
He's an actor, but he's also been in like New
Yeah, rap and stuff, but like,
New Kids on the Block was like.
Do you
he
think?
literally
It was-
sounds
it was
like a
NSYNC
fucking
before NSYNC
80s.
was, like, a thing.
Do you
Nobody
think?
hears you.
Do you think that? Do you think that?
was
Matt,
itching my leg.
do you think that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck like exploit each other's bodies, or is that just?
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have.
I watch a lot of
If I was Ben Affleck, I would definitely have.
I watch a lot of
you know what I mean?
TikTok
Not the other way
compilations.
around.
Dude, Ben Affleck kind of looks like that dude that played Rorschach. No.
Oh,
Rorschach.
from
Rorschach.
Watchmen.
Yeah, he looks very like a Rorschach.
One of the most
painting,
underrated, greatest fucking.
But if you look at
superhero
compare his face,
comic movies,
like face to face, like Ben Affleck does look like Rorschach.
I see a lot of TikTok compilation of like their friendship over the years. I'm just like something's in the way.
Fucking Boston dudes being fucking Boston dudes. I'll tell you that.
Listen,
y'all
boss,
remember that movie Stuck to You, where it was Matt Damon and the dude from fucking Dumb and Dumber, where they were
Daniels.
yeah, they were stuck. They were conjoined twins by the hip.
I love that.
This
Such a good movie.
You remember the scene, like they're in the shower and it's the Dumb and Dumber kid. He's standing outside, Matt Damon's inside the shower, and he's just like doing his thing, and the phone rings, right? So they got this bit where the phone's on the wall, so they gotta like rush out, and he's like getting dragged out of the shower to answer the phone, and they rush him back into the shower. And the one from Dumb and Dumber,
beautiful.
he's wearing a bright yellow watered trench coat, and he's like answering the phone. And they're like, "Oh, it's for you." And he hands it to Matt Damon. He's like, "Yellow," and here he is, the Dumb and Dumber guy standing in this bright yellow fucking thing. It's hilarious.
hilarious.
That whole movie's great.
I love that movie. That's a good
another
like,
movie,
show.
another movie trilogy that I watched that I want to make a film, like a spoof film like this. I love like films back then. I had this type of comedy was the Naked Gun movies.
Yes.
So
I've never seen them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about movies you need to see, especially as a comedian?
Naked Gun.
Like
all right.
Naked Gun, Airplane.
Airplane
All
is
I think I've
so
seen
Airplane. Like the woman freaking out. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. And they're like smacking her. And it's like phone call for you, Jim. And then they leave, and the camera widens out, and it's like a long line of people with. Oh, I love in Naked Gun when he's like looking for evidence. And he's looking through drawers, and he's like bingo, and he flips it over, and it's a bingo card. So
good.
stupid.
So good, but so funny. It's all family friendly too.
I love
Most
that.
of it is.
But like
Most of it.
I'm currently writing.
Like with the blow up doll in Airplane, not family friendly.
Oh yeah.
Not family friendly.
That's the one
but
with Snoop Dogg, or
hilarious.
was that a different?
No, that's Soul Plane.
I'm thinking of Con Air.
Con Air is a great movie.
No, I think you're
Steve
thinking
Buscemi.
of snakes on a plane. No. Get these
We're just all naming planes.
motherfucking
I think
snakes.
you're thinking of 9/11. Fucking.
Did you guys hear about how My Chemical Romance is responsible for Ellen DeGeneres' career ending?
What? Oh, wait a minute. Big left turn here.
Here we go. It makes sense. So, My Chemical Romance. So Gerard Way, he saw the Twin Towers burning, and it inspired him to create My Chemical Romance, like music as a response to this happening. And during one of their peak eras, because they had different eras for every album. One of their peak eras, there was an era where their album where they had like Helena, and there's another one. Fuck,
Black
but
Parade?
yeah, no, that wasn't the one
Okay, that's
after.
Green
But
Day.
like
That's
in
Green Day.
in that area, their aesthetic at that time was that they looked like vampires. They had like pale skin, they had like fake blood, whatever. That vampire aesthetic inspired Stephanie Meyer to write the Twilight
Which
series.
wrote 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then 50 Shades of Grey is a fan fiction based
Shout
on
out Danny.
yeah. 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey is a fan fiction based off Twilight, and when they adapted into films, it starred Dakota Johnson, who went on Ellen's show and told her, "That's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited to this birthday party that I had." And that was literally the first domino, her exposing Ellen like that. They got everyone to speak up, and it ended. And then I have.
Isn't she still on air though?
Well, she's gonna. I think she either did release or she's about to release a Netflix special. It's gonna explain everything. But I have like close I have like close personal friends who like went to California and like worked for her, and they were like, all of those rumors are. A lot of them are not rumors; are true. She is a hateful, disgusting, like rude is not even a word for it to people who are to her staff. Like. And so people are just like, I'm not surprised this is finally coming out because I've been wanting to like say it for years, but people will probably think that I'm like piggybacking or wanting to get some money off her. But they're like, she does not know how to treat her staff. She's an awful human being. She had the nerve to post that video during COVID of her crying to the camera while her palatial estate is behind her and her fucking gardener is like landscaper is doing some work, and she's talking about how hard it is in quarantine, and she really wants people to get it together so she can go outside again. And it's like, bitch,
It's like a multi-million-dollar
I'm
mansion.
quarantined in my mansion.
I just can't live here anymore. I can't watch.
Some people are like that, man.
Yeah,
This shit's real.
It's
That's wild.
insane. They're just like, I just can't believe
You ever
it.
seen a movie?
I had to
This
sell
Is
the horses.
Hold on, wait. Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen's "This Is the End."
I love that.
Yo!
Such a good movie.
That shit is hilarious.
Man, you know who stole that thing?
What?
Your mom got him.
No, who's the actor who stole that movie?
Oh,
Danny McBride.
I was gonna say.
He stole the movie. And it was just like, dude, Danny, stop fucking jacking off everywhere, man. He's like,
Yeah.
I've been jerking off every fucking corner of this house, man. And he has Channing Tatum as a little sex slave at the end when he was like running the cannibal fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
And he makes Channing Tatum take his mask off, and he goes, and he has feet on him.
His show Eastbound and Down, which is also HBO.
The best.
Or
Danny
wait,
McBride,
no, was
friend of the
it?
show.
Or was it Showtime? I think it was HBO.
No, it's HBO.
Yo,
If it looked expensive, it was
amazing.
HBO.
It's
If it looked,
That shit was
if it looked secondhand,
telling
it was
you,
Showtime.
I'm telling you,
With Will Ferrell.
you are going to thank me when you watch Spartacus.
I don't think I'm ready.
You
I
are
think by
ready.
episode 1, I'm gonna produce my body weight in sperm, and it's gonna be over. I'm gonna look like those old cigarette ads that the people deflate on the couch, just like. Yeah.
Wait till you meet. Oh wait, what's his
I'm
name?
gonna be-
Spartans, what is your occupation?
Oh, can hurt into my.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Once you just hearing his name will make you come. Hold on.
I'm so glad that no one can see below the.
I know,
below
that's
the
what
waist
this wooden
here.
table's for all the
Yeah.
wood underneath.
Ready? Crixus.
Yeah.
That doesn't do it for you?
No.
Crixus?
No, that sounds like
All right,
crickets.
maybe you got to see him.
That sounds like crickets, the natural enemy of comedians. There was a cricket in my room once.
Crixus
There was a
is
cricket.
fucking-
There was a cricket in my room, and it was like really loud because it was really close, and I was terrified of it.
Just scroll to the right.
Oh, hello.
But wait, listen,
Oh, how
Crixus,
fast the mind
Jesus,
Listen, Crixus
sweet
is-
baby Jesus and the grown one too. What
So
the
he
fuck?
is like the concubine of the head mistress,
concubine.
the head woman of the whole concubine, the head woman of the whole gladiator school. Right, so like when her husband's gone doing business deals, she takes him out of being a gladiator and fucks the shit out of him. And he is
Ooh, the
actually
nipple.
he's actually in love with a slave who is the handmaiden to the head woman. And yo, it's such a fucking
You can
love,
wash laundry on those abs.
it's
What
a
the
love triangle like you will never experience ever. I'm telling you. Because obviously he's got to keep it hidden.
I can't believe you unleashed this upon me. And now I have to watch fucking Spartacus. Like,
You're gonna
what?
love it. It's great.
I'm so glad that no one can see what's happening underneath this table.
That's why we kept it 6 feet apart.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is actually to y'all's benefit. And like, I need a moment.
Our dicks are really close to touching right now, actually.
Well, actually, since no one can see what's happening, I just want to let y'all know that I still got it.
Oh!
Oh yeah, little chunky heel.
Those are all the way up.
Oh yeah,
That
they
was
go
wild.
all the way up. I like wearing them with the leather pants because from a distance it looks like it's just one really long boot that goes all the way up. But yeah,
That's awesome.
oh yeah.
My dad has very similar, but that's because he rides a bike and not.
You're like he also does drag on every third Sunday of the month.
Harley riders are so similar to drag queens; they just don't even know it.
They don't. There's this drag queen. There's this drag queen I love, who's also a comedian, Bob the drag queen, and he I love that Bob. It also it was his old dragon name used to be Kitten with the Whip, and it was an old reference to like an old movie. And then there was one night where he was hosting, and every time he hosted, he said his name so people won't forget. I was like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kitten with the Whip, blah blah blah. And then he did some crowd work with a drunk patron of the night, and he was like, Thank you so much, and please everyone give it up for Kim. And he's like, yep, that's me, Kim the drag queen. So then throughout the night, he's like, and don't forget to tip me Sarah the drag queen. At the end of the night, he was like, and don't forget me, your host, Bob the drag queen. And he went to like the backstage to the dressing room and to all the other queens. And he was like, I should change my name to Bob the drag queen. And everyone said no, so that only prompted him to be like, I'm gonna fucking do it. And he's like, but it would just be so funny if I won like a big pageant or something. And they're just like, and the winner of this year's pageant is Bob. But also the name is just like my name, BatBoy. It cuts out the middleman. You don't have to ask. It's Bob the drag queen.
That makes me think of like your name. It's like if you shorten it up, it's like Eric Bill.
Yeah.
Eric
Bill.
Eric Bills.
Multiple Williamses. Yeah.
Multiple. But what I was gonna say is that Bob the drag queen, he had this like this biker look for like this show on HBO called We're Here, where it's like a bunch of drag queens that go to like small towns in America and like, just like help and find the queer people there and like put them in drag. And it's a very emotional, very celebratory show, but it gets kind of scary sometimes when they go like down south, especially like they get the cops called on them and shit. But for one episode, in the opener before the episode starts, the queens that host the show, they all have like their outfits is like a specific theme. And so they always do like a little cold open, like a little bit before the show actually starts. And one episode, one of the themes was like bikers. So they all had biker outfits. And Bob's outfit was this leather jacket with spikes on it. And the back and like bedazzled said, "My second ride is your dad." Oh. And I was like, oh.
Can you imagine the Southern Karens that called that drag queen bit into the cops? Like, we got a whole bunch of dudes with beards down here kissing boys, and they're reading books.
And then
reading books to kids, and we're sick of it.
You want my gun? Try and take it. But then I always notice I've been trying to do this in an upcoming bit when like quote unquote homophobes down south get too into it. Yeah, these gay men are out here kissing boys, like, and then they're like,
shout out Nick Kelly.
It's like they're kissing boys on the mouth and they give them a little tongue and grab their ass into a dark room. And it's like, okay, no one asked for you to go there, but it seems like you have some things that you want to.
We've gone there.
Fucking so funny.
Oh my God.
But I also don't like I see this a lot on gay people on Twitter, on gay Twitter. I don't like perpetuating the stereotype that every homophobic man is secretly gay, because sometimes people they're just evil people. Sometimes there are people out there that just don't want me to exist just for the sake of it.
But that's not what a phobia is. Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna argue semantics. A phobia is a fear that's uncontrollable by the mind.
Yeah.
So and I'm only saying this because in the sense of like elevating consciousness, because that's really the only thing that matters as a father is like consciousness getting better.
Yeah.
We gotta stop thinking of it like that, because an actual homophobia is something that they can't control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which means their parents put that into them, which means their parents put that in. That's a very systemic issue. And like, we got to stop labeling it as like, that's a bad, like it's not their fault. You know what I mean? Just like it's not somebody's fault that they fucking were experiencing some really dark shit and they want to fucking take it out in a like a kink or something, you know what I mean, which can get really dark.
Yeah, but
like
I do feel like the fault is on them when it's because it's a learned behavior. It can be unlearned.
True.
And they have to learn. But also, funny enough, one of my friends, his father is homophobic, but in the literal sense, he's literally scared of gay people. And one time for his no, that's why I was asking him, like, why. He's like, why haven't I met your parents yet? And he's like, I don't think you want my dad. He'll be scared of you. I'm like, oh, is he homophobic, literally? And he was like, yes, he is. And one time they were having a birthday party for his mom, which is his dad. His dad's wife. Her birthday's in June, and they were running low on ice for the cooler, so he went to go get ice. And when he on his way back home, he drove into a pride parade, and they were like, "Where is he?" And his mom calls him and puts him on speaker. She's like, "Honey, where are you?" And he's like, "Elaine, they're everywhere." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "They're everywhere. They have harnesses. They have feathers. They're covered in glitter.
They're walking each other.
They're holding hands.
I'm stuck in a saw trap."
And she's like, "Hon, you gotta get over this. They're not gonna do anything to you." He's like, "But they're everywhere, Elaine. I don't know what to do." She's like, "Just come home." But he's like, "Oh, excuse me." He's like, Sorry about that. I had a hookup earlier, and that's coming back up. But he's homophobic in the literal sense. He's terrified of gay people. I find that hilarious.
Is that his fault?
I don't know. I never asked any further questions, but no.
But he can make his own decisions, right? He should know, like, as a grown man, he should know that, like, it's just a person's style.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it doesn't make that person who, you know what I mean?
It's who they love. They're not doing anything. They just want to hold hands and walk across the street.
If they want to be flamboyant or whatever, like, it's just their style.
But he's like, it's like, it's so much because he's so consumed by the fear that he doesn't have time to, like, be hateful. Be like, you're going to hell. He just sees the gay people and he goes crazy.
I think the hate comes out when he's in bed and he's trying to go to sleep, and he's like, fucking I'm trying to sleep.
Elaine, turn around. I'm going to spank you.
Jesus.
But it's like, it's
we all need Jesus.
Whenever he tells me, I'm like, I just can't wait to meet. I was like, and he knows that I do comedy as BatBoy. I'm like, what if the first time I meet him is as BatBoy in a full head to toe BatBoy outfit? He'll pass out. He's like, yeah, I think he'll probably fucking pass out. Just be like, but it's just so. I just picture him like, honey, are you okay? You left for the ice 30 minutes ago. And he's like, Elaine, they're everywhere. Who? The gays. It's like, oh God, they're dancing. They're duck walking.
They're so happy.
Yeah,
Son of a.
God damn it. Oh, imagine my surprise. Me and my liberal ass was like, oh my God, we did it. We got rid of the homophobes. We got rid of the straight white men, the creepy ones. They're gone. And I started doing comedy. I was like, oh, they didn't leave. They just all flooded open mics and started doing stand-up. All the dive bars and the shitty holes in the walls, that's where they went. I was like, oh no.
You mean every place the internet says there's a glory hole?
Yeah. Well, if there's a glory hole, I'm there, but I'm with a knife. You know?
Whoa.
That's actually what's it called, like unnatural fears that people have, or like fears are just like.
What's your unnatural fear?
One of them is that I will
Really?
never do a glory hole because my fear is that there's
Someone's
someone
gonna cut
behind
your
there
dick
like.
off.
Like sharpening a knife,
Oh,
like
Holy
yeah.
fuck, I've never
That's weird.
thought
You
of
think-
that.
And I also have another natural fear that whenever I bring the trash barrels out, you have to think about
I
it.
did that on purpose.
You have to think about it.
He's over here like, my dick has been saved by the gods.
But
How many glory holes did I
like,
not get
imagine
cut off?
they have a serrated knife. Ooh, pastrami.
Ugh.
But
Serrated.
yeah. But I also my other unnatural fear is that whenever I bring the garbage bins to the street and there's a car passing by, I have to face the car and wait for it to pass by because I have a unnatural fear that if I turn around while the car passes by, my back's to the car. An Italian mobster is gonna roll the window down, like this is for Vinny, and just shoot me down.
Look what they did to my beautiful boy.
Look what my boy. Look what they did to my boy. You come here
We
today
did this last time. We did
on
this.
the,
good.
on the day of my daughter's wedding.
On the day.
Yeah, wait, the way your mouth forms.
Look what they did to my beautiful boy. They shot him down in cold blood like a fucking dog.
Yeah, the odds of that happening
All
to
right.
me.
I'm done.
The
That's my Don
odds of
Vito
that
Corleone.
happening to me are so. It's like when people are like, I'm afraid to be home alone because what if I get home invaded? What the fuck is so special about you or your home that you're gonna be the target of a home invasion? Like you're not
It's
part of the
random.
1%.
It's random.
You're not rich. You don't got Fabergé eggs, bitch. You don't even have a 401k.
They don't know
You have
what's
an IRA
inside
Roth,
when they
you
go
have a
in.
Roth.
If I had a nickel for every time I had that problem, not knowing what's inside when am I right, ladies?
Hey.
Hey yo.
Bingo, bango, and a bongo.
Notice how I'm only saying "Am I right, ladies?" I'm not addressing the gay men because I hate you.
Oh,
I have this
they
new
the
bit,
op?
I have this new bit that I'm doing where I ask if there's any gay people in the audience, and if there isn't, I say good, and if there is, I'm like get out. Like scarcity complex. I'm
only
used.
room for one.
No, but there is a concept that is called. It's this book that this guy, I forget the author's name, but it's called Velvet Rage, and it's about like gay men no one hates gay men more than other gay men. Like, no one is more homophobic than a fag. Because especially when you're used to being the belle of the ball, you're used to being the one gay in the friend group. When you see other gay people and you're surrounded by other belles of the balls, you're like, well, fuck. Now I have to like double time it. Like, which is why in comedy, gay men are the hardest audience for me to make laugh. Because 99% of the time they're there with the arms
judging you.
Yeah, they're there with the arms crossed, like, whatever, I'm funny too. I can do that.
I didn't say that from experience, bro.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because that shit was hilarious and you didn't know it.
I was just going with the flow.
That laugh.
I go, holy fuck. I go,
I'm hosting here, brother.
we're having fun. We're having fun.
But
just,
literally,
just
like,
three friends talking
when
shit.
I
talking shit.
I see it happen. I see it happen kind of less frequently now, but especially towards the beginning when I would do like the open mic at Majestic on Monday. Shout out Majestic Slew and RIP. It's closing on Halloween.
Oh,
but
damn.
there'll be gay men in the audience that are like, whatever, I'm funny too. I can do that. So like when I go up there and I dress up in these outfits with the mask, and the whole point of BatBoy is to be like the king's gesture. Like my job to go up there is to remind y'all not to take life too seriously.
Hell yeah.
You should take it seriously because it is your life and you only have one. Hashtag YOLO. But you shouldn't take it too seriously. So when I go up there and I'm in my mask and my little outfits and I act a fool, I can see gay men in the audience, their guards start lowering. They're like, okay, so he's up there to act a fool. It's okay for us to laugh. Like, he's not a threat. It's okay, girl. Or you know what laughter looks like on paper, but sometimes people aren't laughing and they think your set was really funny. Sometimes people are laughing out loud and they didn't even think you were that great.
Yeah.
So there are some times where there are gay men in the audience after a show, they'll come to me like, oh my God, girl, you were so funny. I was dying. I'm like, really? Because you didn't move once during my set. And that bothered me. There could be 50 cheers of yes, but if there's one boo, I'm like, who the fuck was that?
How do you become so aware of what every individual person is doing out there?
Well, thanks to childhood trauma. Insert little SpongeBob rainbow. I became aware of like people's like body language, like especially with my parents, like with my mother specifically. Yeah. I was able to be aware of like shifts in her mood and her body language. So like, and I was always the comedian of the family. Like to the point where like I was the type of kid that if I had too much sugar, I would get really hyper and like I would just basically be doing my own little bits without knowing it. And if we ever had company over, my parents would deliberately give me a lot of sugar. So when I'm hyped up, they would just sit on the living room couch and I would be the entertainment of the night. And I would learn to see those signals. And because I was a comedian in the family, I knew how to cheer mom up. So I would see that she was about to explode on me or be mad at me. I would know all the things that would make her laugh. And I would have to catch those signs. So if I made her laugh hard enough, maybe she would go easy on me with the punishment. And it's like, it's fucked up as a kid and having to learn those signs from people. But I guess the bonus is when you're older, you get to see that so you know how to de-escalate a situation, especially like me working in retail when you're serving customers and customers are happy with an order or whatever, or something, just customers being piece of shit. You have to learn how to gauge. So you're like,
how dare you talk about a paying customer like that? I'm reporting you.
The best is when they're like, you just lost a customer. I'm like, thank God. Not only do I not want to see you again, but this is a multi-million-dollar company. You think you not coming here is going to ruin their stock? Bro.
I get my money regardless, bitch.
Right. I still get paid and I sleep better at night knowing you will never come into my fucking store ever again.
Dead ass. I can't stand people like that.
Oh, it's
like that movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds. You ain't seen Waiting?
No.
It's a cult classic, BatBoy.
Let me add it
Dane
to my.
Cook
Let me add it
is
to.
in it.
Let me add it to my.
Dane Cook.
Let me add it to my letterbox
Fucking
list.
Ryan Reynolds. What's the chick from all those scary movies? The big eyes.
Yeah,
Amy or
no, Ava maybe.
Fuck.
Ava Braun.
It's a master. Andy Milonakis.
Yeah.
What?
It's
Andy
a fucking master.
What's it called? Waiting.
Waiting.
He was
And it's
smoking pot
about-
with his friend by the fucking dumpsters.
Oh my fucking god.
Fuck.
Where's your phone?
I
You
have
better
it right
put
here.
this in your motherfucking.
No, I have a
2005.
list on Letterboxd of classic films.
Yo,
Like 436
Justin Long.
movies.
Anna Faris.
Justin Long.
Andy
Anna
Milon-
Faris.
Yes, this is a fucking master
Shut the
class
fuck
in comedy. And so they're all waiters or they work in. Hold on. You ever heard of the bat wings, like where the guy tucks his balls the goat.
Yeah.
You tuck your balls in the back.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And if you get your
Every
friend
time I'm
to
home
see
alone.
it,
Yeah.
if you get your friend to see it, you get to kick him in the ass or whatever. That's from
And
the movie.
Every time I'm home alone, I do that, and the friend I want to show it to is Eric, but he never answers my calls. He never answers my calls. No, I'm just kidding.
Eric.
Anytime he sees me calling, he's like, "I'm not picking this
Oh,
up."
BatBoy, the BatBoy signal's coming in.
But I
You know
have,
what that means?
I have like a lot of lists on my letterbox. But the one with the most films is my film list called the classics, and it's 440
Gotta be the
films.
waiting, dude. The waiting's
What?
gotta go to the top.
440.
No, you really need to put it
Well,
on
it's
there.
440 films, and I've only
What's
seen
above it? What's
9 of
above?
them.
Oh.
That's insane.
Well, there's
But
there's
you-
films like
Trust me, waiting.
Ttarantino movies should be
Yeah.
higher
I
than
can't-
yeah.
waiting.
like
What? Shut the fuck,
Higher than waiting, yeah.
bro. It's
well,
comedy.
it's
We're
alpha.
comedy
Well,
here.
it's alphabetical.
Comedy.
Tarantino's fucking awesome.
I sort it.
Comedy.
I sort it alphabetically, so waiting is of course at the bottom. But it's just well, like the airplane films, the alien movies,
Okay.
those are classics. American Beauty.
I think we
The
just
Brec-
found out
the
that
Breakfast
BatBoy is a
Club.
procrastinator.
The Breakfast Club, which I've seen.
Procrastinator.
I'm trying to list one like these are movies the ones I'm gonna list. I want to list movies that I know of but haven't actually seen. I was about to say both Charlie's Angels, but I'm gay, so I've seen those.
Let
two.
me just tell you
Give
this.
us the rings.
A Clockwork Orange. I know
Oh, that's
about.
good.
I know about in pop culture, but I've never actually
Oh,
seen
how
it.
about how about Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Oh, you've seen it?
I've seen it so many times.
You know how many movies have done like Easter eggs to that now?
Yeah. Well, here's my theory. So just like how in the late 2000s, so like 2009, and then like a good chunk of the 2010s, EDM, like fist pump music, was very popular because it was a response to the recession that happened in 2007, 2008. We needed distraction from our horrible reality of people losing jobs and houses. So that's why like fun music was pumping. Everything Everywhere All at Once, I feel like that was the catalyst for multiverse films becoming popular in the early 2020s because of the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, we were stuck in our houses and people were like, I want to be mentally or even physically anywhere but here. So people disassociated. So that's why multiverse films became so popular because people are like, I need to be in a different reality than the one I am.
Do you know who
right now.
Eric Voss is? Does that sound
Maybe
familiar?
that does sound familiar.
He's the host of a YouTube channel, CBR, I want to say,
Chicken
or
Bacon
no,
Ranch.
New Rock Stars.
Chicken Bacon Ranch? Yeah.
New Rock Stars. You ever heard of New Rocks? So listen, all their channel does is they cover like comics and movies, and literally in 2020, Eric Voss said the same thing you just said.
Yeah.
Yo, he was like, because Doctor Strange had came out.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep, Multiverse of Madness
Everything
was
Everywhere
like
All at
in
Once.
the works, and they were like coming up with all the theories and shit about that. And he was just like, so he has this side channel. It's called Into the Deep, which he goes really deep in like the writing rooms behind movies, the process that it takes to write. Like he does like all the classic movies. And it's like every episode is like, or video is like over an hour long because he's like really getting deep. Oh, it's called the Deep Dive. I'm
Deep
sorry.
Dive.
The Deep Dive is the
Fired a
name.
nickel. No.
That's that's the me too for real. That's the name of the channel.
I'm
And
more of a short snow
Eric
player.
Ah! Stay in the shallow end.
I can't swim.
I'm glad every time I start like telling some like real shit, people start making jokes on this
I love
episode.
it.
We're
That's great.
comedians. What do you want?
Well, here's some other films that are cult classics that I know
Run
know about from pop culture but never seen. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
What?
Never seen it.
Where have you been?
I know about it. Like I love the infamous chase scene when he's running home. And also when he's standing in front of the car and he's like, "Come along, children." Like I've seen that reference on other shit, but I haven't actually seen it. Freaky Friday I've seen. Ghostbusters. Never seen Ghostbusters.
Have you seen Zombieland?
Yes.
Okay, you so
Love
good.
Zombieland.
So good.
Goodfellas. Never seen Goodfellas.
Get the fuck out of here.
Never seen.
That's my favorite movie.
I've never seen any of the original Mad Maxes.
Okay.
I've seen
That's
the.
all right.
I've
That's
seen the
okay.
newest
You can get
with
rid
Mel
of-
Gibson. I do want to.
The little midget that throws the sharp.
I do
frisbee.
want to
Oh,
see
yeah,
the.
that's so corny.
Oh,
I love that fucking shit.
I've seen the
Every
Matrix.
single one of
I've
them.
seen the Matrix. Love the
Oh,
Matrix.
you have to see.
Oh,
Have you seen the newest one?
Oh
though?
yeah, I liked it.
With motherfucking
Morpheus?
How I Met Your Mother.
Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah, he was.
Yes.
I haven't seen No Country for Old Men. Haven't seen that.
Javier Bardem.
So good. I love Javier Bardem.
What about Hateful Eight?
Yes.
Oh,
My God. That.
did you watch the extended cut?
Of course.
Oh, it's so fucking
8
worth
hours. 8 hours
It's
of godliness.
So worth it.
I haven't seen Requiem for a Dream. I heard it's very heavy.
I like
Heard it's
that
very
one.
Butterfly
heavy.
Effect.
No.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one.
I haven't
Ashton
seen. I haven't seen. Oh, I've seen Silence of the Lambs. I haven't seen.
It's funny you made that noise after saying that.
Oh yeah. Where's my fava beans and Chianti?
I just live with a knife.
I haven't seen Terminator.
All right.
I'm so
T1?
sorry.
T1.
I haven't seen a giggity goo. I haven't seen.
Oh.
I haven't seen. I haven't seen. Where was I? I just had it. Oh, What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. Have you seen Bang Bang Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
No.
Chitty bang bang.
Bang, chitty, chitty, bang.
It's just chitty chitty.
It's
bang,
just
bang.
two chitties.
Bang bang chitty chitty bang bang.
It's just two
Bang, bang,
chitties.
bang,
That's a song, bro.
Yeah, bang bang chitty chitty bang bang.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
chitty chitty bang bang is the name.
That's a great musical.
I hate
Also, the
I
fucking
hate
sounds.
I hate scary movies, but I like under your skin scary movies. I don't like jump scares because I get scared easily. But I do have a list of like scary. I do have a list of scary movies that regardless if I'm scared or not, I want to watch for the culture. Like Evil Dead,
Oh, okay. Yeah, gory scary movies don't scare me. It's
Evil
not a scary
Child's Play. That's
Yeah,
that's
go on.
mainly me facing against much because as a kid, my uncle was obsessed with horror and he introduced me to
Chucky.
Child's Play and I got terrified as a kid. The Exorcist. Haven't seen The Exorcist.
Ooh, that's an alright one.
I
You can
saw
skip it.
Halloween, the original one.
Yes, gotta watch that.
That one was good. That one's good.
What about like
I was
Insidious, any of those
I haven't
ones?
seen it. That's scary.
Annabelle. Yeah,
Ooh, no.
get on those.
The Conjuring is like the trailer alone
exactly.
scares me.
Yeah.
Like when they're like moving into the house and that little girl she comes out the
Horror
closet and
movies
she does
don't
she does
do
the
shit for me,
she does the clapping, and then like the mom she wakes up into the night and all the paintings are
Nope.
falling off the walls and
Nope.
she traps herself in the closet. She lights the
Nope.
match and the claps go.
No,
You
Yeah.
remember
No.
in Scary Movie?
None
I
of
think
that
it was
shit.
Scary Movie 3,
dude.
where they made fun of like The Ring and all the Asian movies.
Horror movies were ruined for me. They don't work.
Really?
Yeah, I spent my entire childhood in fear. What the fuck?
In Ohio.
No, but no.
Only in Ohio.
The real story is, so I was probably like 6.
Were you in witness protection? Like,
Nah.
so I was childhood in fear.
I just almost spit.
So, I was like 6. My brother was 8. My sister was like 10.
Gay.
And she had us watch. It, the original.
Oh,
It.
that scared me.
My brother was so fucking scared. I thought it was fucking hilarious that he was so scared. Because I looked at my older brother like he was the fucking Thor.
He was the man.
He was the shit. You know what I mean?
And
like
seeing him crumble, you were like,
he was so scared. I thought it was fucking funny. So the whole movie, every time there was like they get down to the tunnel and they finally see the thing and he got all scared by this big fucking dumb looking monster, and I thought I clowned him for it. And like I don't know what it was, but horror movies, the only horror movie that ever actually like get me scared was Insidious.
that's what I've heard. Insidious and the first Conjuring are just scary.
The first Insidious, dude. What that like? Just the way the house is like interacting.
There's that infamous
like,
shot of like the main guy and like just over his shoulder behind him is the red face demon thing. That's horrifying.
You mean his son? Yeah.
Oh God. I also have a list
You have
on.
3 of those.
I also have a he does. I also have a, I
three of
also
those
have
sons.
Stop fucking reminding me. Why do you think I started this pod? I want it away.
no.
Save me. Pizza. Pizza.
The algorithm just got ruined.
and-
look at those spikes. Look,
And
look,
ladies,
look at those spikes.
ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm pro-choice.
When I edit this, I'm switching to your camera, your face.
I hope you include. I don't want to like ruin the magic, but like throughout this pod, when you've been explaining certain things, I've just been like cutting, cutting cheek to camera, like. Well, I've been winking at that camera too, so I hope you include that.
There's been a few times where I look at this camera and I go,
Yeah. Just frozen listen. I also have another list on my letterbox. It's 96 films so far. It's called "And the Oscar Goes To," and it's every Best Picture ever. Here's a little quick trivia. Do you guys know what the last film that won Best Picture was?
We don't.
I'll give you. It was big. It was big last summer.
The
Big.
Oppenheimer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer won Best Picture, and before that was you mentioned before Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that was such a good movie.
There are some movies
And it
here
gets
where
all squirrely.
there are some movies here where it's so interesting seeing. It's also fun seeing this specific list because you can see it's like a snapshot in time of what they thought Best Picture was. Some of them seem well deserved. Some like, like of course, The Godfather,
Ooh,
Best
gotta
Picture.
Gotta get that.
Godfather Part 1 and
You've
Part
seen-
2.
Oh yeah, don't watch Part 3.
That's one I haven't seen.
fucking
I haven't seen The Godfather.
Hey,
Actually, no, wait.
One or two?
2. I've seen 1. I haven't seen 2.
Two's good.
So
too good?
listen, I hate to do this.
What happened?
We have been in here for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
That's
We've
the longest
come-
pod yet.
We've come to the end. Hallelujah.
Longest
Yeah.
pod yet.
Oh my
We're
God.
gonna
Well,
have to wrap this up.
well, as we're wrapping up, I would like to first of all say thank you for having me.
so thank you.
Plug some shows.
Oh
plug
yeah,
what
but
you're doing.
well, first of all,
Where do you go every week for open mics?
yeah, you
No one
can
catch
follow me on Instagram at BatBoyComedy. If you
Hell
don't
yeah.
follow me, you're homophobic. Mondays I'm at the Majestic Saloon. Wednesdays I'm at the Irish Ale House or at Bishop's because Bishop's is more accessible because I'm in Springfield. Thursdays are for the Nook. I'm gonna try to carpool with these guys because I'm a passenger princess. And Fridays are mainly for shows, but some shows that I have coming up. I have a show this Friday, August. What the
October
fuck?
11th.
October 11th at Bishop's
We'll
Lounge.
be there. I'm there too.
And October 22nd. This is like a little exclusive here. I'm gonna be at the Snookers Billiard Club in Springfield, Massachusetts. It's my first time headlining.
Come on
show.
now. Show out for our boy,
that's
Bad Boy.
October 22nd. The
out to
flyer
Snookers.
is yet to be made. When we get closer to the date, it'll be made there. Who knows? Maybe I'll be making the flyer.
That's a
but,
mad production, right?
Yeah, Maverick
Come on
Prasad
out.
production. But first time ever headlining. I'm excited for that.
Whoa, that's huge, man.
Yeah. October 25th, there's gonna be a spooky Halloween show at the Majestic Saloon Gay Bar in Northampton because they're closing on Halloween. So why not go out with a bang? And
Literally.
other than that, I'm just chilling, just vibing,
Love that.
just playing Fortnite, jerking off, crying, maybe sometimes all at the same time.
You and I play Fortnite for the same reasons.
It's
do the same thing.
It's like while I'm waiting for the battle bus to show up, I'm crying while jerking off. It's a threefer, dreaded threefer. You gotta.
Dope.
Oh my
Well,
God.
boys, let's get a cheers in. This shit was
Ladies.
fun as
Hell
fuck.
yeah. Oh my God, wait, look, I guess I'm moving the mic.
Whoa!
Can you tell I do comedy?
Thank you so much for tuning in. Catch us next week.
Sounds good. L'chaim, everybody.
Bam.
That was fun as
L'chaim.
fuck.
Oh my God, that was so.
Oh,
fucking
that went
fun.
fast. When you were
Right?
like, that was 3 hours, I was like,